and anything to help me get rid of my pain, and nothing freed me. It just masked the pain, and the side effects diminished my quality of life. I'm sure you have been there if you have real bad pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that is designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. And it is not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor. It was created for people to get back to living their life on their terms. Is that you? Walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter? This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take your stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today. $19.95, 3-week quick start. Ready for you right now. Visit relieffactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF.
The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los on Xtra 106.3, back in home base yesterday out at Brookstone and Ackworth, supporting the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation, which was a wonderful event. But it's always good to be back home, Los.
Feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Especially considering that now my head doesn't feel like a balloon.
Yeah.
But I was sneezing all day from being outside.
Yeah.
And so now the decongestant is slowly kicking in.
There we go. Starting to take over. Starting to...
I don't feel like I'm underwater anymore.
Dude, that's the worst feeling in the world, when you feel like you have water on your ear and you can't get it to do anything.
It's what it felt like all morning.
And you feel like your head's a balloon.
My left side feels completely normal. My right side, everything sounds hollow.
Oh, it's the worst. I'm trying to remember the last time I had that happen. It's been a while, but my wife and son deal with it a little bit, and I know you said that your wife and daughters deal with it a little bit, so I certainly commiserate, man. There's nothing worse, but thankfully the decongestant is coming to the rescue.
Hope so.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it makes the show more wacky.
Yeah, you can't ever tell. Well, look, I don't know how it gets much more wacky. I mean, there's days that we're just all over.
Doing what? Huh?
Yeah, y'all are doing what again?
Why can't I hear?
Yeah, that's right. Those. You're already really close to the microphone.
What?
That's right. What'd you say? Yeah, that's right. Well, what'd you say?
The dog had a bone.
Yeah, right. No. You sound like my dad later in life, and even Mama a little bit now.
Who's running zone?
Yeah, that's right.
What?
No, none of those things. No, microphone, the thing you're talking to.
Darius Rucker wants me to moan?
No, he's in London. He's living there these days. He's not even in town. No, we don't. I don't know about moaning now. That'd be odd thing to ask the man.
Would be kind of strange.
It'd be odd. That'd be the most.
Welcome to Tuesday.
That's right. See, you could go off the rails at any time. You just don't know. Today is the first day of early voting. So if you plan to do that, there is good reason to listen to this morning. About 9:25, Barry Loudermilk will be on, and can't wait to ask him, because he's retiring, who he thinks would be the right pick for his seat once he gives that thing up. And he's been working on that January 6th stuff, so he's got a book. There's all kinds of things talked about to Mr. Loudermilk, who represents the area that we sit here at Dickey Broadcasting in the Battery, Atlanta.
Yeah, last time we did have him on was discussion of that book, and so it'll be interesting for those people that live right around in this area, who he is endorsing, who he is suggesting would be the logical person to step into his seat.
Yeah, and I think he really wants to talk Jan 6. Just some of the things that he's been working on there.
I'm always up for that.
Yeah, I know, right? Absolutely, especially when the left goes back to it as something that they didn't create.
Well, it's justification for all of their violence. Don't you understand?
Absolutely, yes. That's what I'm learning slowly.
I mean, a little bit of everything is justification for their violence. It's a perfect example of, no matter how violent they get, no matter what they attempt, it's always your fault.
Yes, you've done it. You've caused this, and
their personal responsibility is out the window,
and you deserve it.
Right?
You better accept it.
We're doing this for our communist revolution because you're bad people and you had it coming.
Dude, that's the thing that scares me to death, and I don't use scares me to death lightly, because it is that's the grandiose dream, right? The communist revolution. That's what they're working on. That's why you're undermining everything in the United States. That's the reason you kick open the doors for millions and millions, upwards of 20 million in illegal immigration. You change the dynamic of the entire country, and that way it's easier to pull out the rug.
Well, and if you happen to call it into question, well, you're met with, what do communists meet you with? Violence.
As we learn over and over and over again. You know, it's funny. We played that clip of Jimmy Kimmel yesterday a couple times of him saying, you know, that widow Melania, and he hasn't apologized for it.
She has the glow of an expectant widow.
Yeah, that's right. He said, well, I stand by the joke, but the timing wasn't good. I was talking about their age differences. Okay. I watched a video this morning of Johnny Carson, the late Johnny Carson, and it's funny how everything works in cycles. And it popped up. He was hosting like the Oscars or whatever right around the time that Ronald Reagan was shot, and they had stopped. They weren't even going to go forward with the show because it was such a national crisis when the president is shot. You would think that maybe these days it would still be a national crisis, but no, you have jokes about it more than anything else. But Carson said, we just wanted to make sure that everything was on the up and up and the president was okay. And he had recorded a message for us this morning, and he wanted a TV in his room so he could watch the broadcast. It's just the difference of the sweetness of America then versus what we're living through now and likely handing off our kids.
Well, understand, you are in a battle for the soul of this country.
That's exactly right. And you couldn't juxtapose two more important or two obvious things. People that care, Johnny Carson and Ronald Reagan, and people that don't care, Jimmy Kimmel and Hakeem Jeffries.
Well, we brought this up yesterday, and I think we should highlight it. When Butler, Pennsylvania happened, again, text messages all around. When then you had the situation at Mar-a-Lago with that attempted assassin, text messages everywhere. Saturday didn't even resonate in that way because Tug and I expect it. We've been talking about it. We've been predicting it. We've been saying these are violent people, that communism requires violence. Because once it gets violent enough, then the communists tell you, well, just put us in power and it all stop.
Yeah, we'll stop it.
We'll deal with it.
Some grand mind game in a movie or something.
Yeah,
where the bad guy works on you.
You know how you're concerned about this white uprising in Charlottesville? We'll put an end to it.
Yeah.
Because you'll stop paying for it.
That's right.
Hey, you know these lone gunmen and these shooters that keep showing up at political events? We'll put an end to it. We'll bring things back to normal. Because you'll stop telling your street troops, your agitators, that this is what needs to be done.
But then it progressively gets worse as they get more and more entrenched in the power. The power vacuum happens. You can see it in communist China. You can see it in Russia. You can see it in Cuba. And it never goes well for the people that say, okay, you're right, man. I'm going to give you the power.
Yeah, the modern Democrat, the one that is so there's so many now far left. In fact, the ones that are kind of in the middle are the ones that are starting to change their mind and go, maybe this doesn't represent me. Glad to have you on board. But when it comes to that far left Democrat, they're looking at this as we get to take advantage of a broken people. They've broken their people to the point where, we even had a caller who started trying to, after admitting, hey, violence is wrong, then started justifying the violence.
Right.
This is what they do. And it's not stopping. That's the whole reason why Tug and I weren't even texting on Saturday. No. This is just what you deal with. The only thing that you can do is make sure you pummel these people and never let them have power. You have to beat them at the ballot box.
And that starts today. And
here's your opportunity.
Here's your opportunity. When they, when they talk about violence, and Hakeem, we'll play it a little later in the show. Hakeem Jeffries was right back to it less than 48 hours afterwards. We go the other way because we know that's the right way. That's the only morally acceptable way. You go to the ballot box and you do it the way it needs to be done. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
Since I know that the communists always like to give you their utopia, which, again, it's all about communism, but, the Aunt Pegs of the world, that liberal aunt that you have, she's always talked about, well, I want an administration that is indicative of America. then it's going to look a certain way, and it's going to be a certain way. And I would propose to her, well, what if you had a gay man who was running a pretty large amount of the economy? What if you were to have an administration that brought in people from the other side and put them in important positions in national intelligence or perhaps healthcare? Maybe if you had a lawyer who was into cleaning up the environment who was from the opposite side, maybe you bring that person in.
Well, no, they would never do that.
It's exactly what the Trump administration has done. And I point that out to say this. This was always about when you have an anti-establishment authority, and that's what we have here with this Trump administration. It goes against the global elite. It goes against the communists. And what do? They get even more violent. You've been given the government that you had the popular vote for and 7 swing states vote for. And then that particular person who is not conservative, Donald Trump, made sure to put together an administration that is representative of the best people to find, which were in some cases across the aisle. And as I've started this, there is a gay man who runs the economy.
But that's not talked about
at all.
Because it's not important.
Because he's the best at it.
That's exactly right. Who cares what he is?
And so, what happens when you deliver for America a America First agenda made up of a wide variety of people? The globalists and the communists get more violent. And this is what happens whenever you go against the establishment. We talk about what has happened in the past. John F. Kennedy was probably your last president that was so anti-establishment of what the political parties had become that he got murdered for it.
And all of a sudden, you're starting to see a guy that kind of resembles that as far as the way he strategizes, the way he runs the government. And what have they done? They've shot at him 3 times
Try to murder him.
It's becoming so common that we don't even text about it. It's not a surprise, as Los brought up. But that's the thing, dude. They despise him so much because he is shaking it up, and people have noticed. And it's not just your everyday white European American, since the left always has to categorize everything. You have the gay man, you have the white European American, whatever. Nobody's talking about any of those things because they don't care about any of those things. What do they care about? The future of the country. And Donald Trump does too. Doesn't matter, because they hate him enough and they hate this country enough.
Just make sure that I have a Secretary of State who comes from Cuban parents who's pretty well aware what communism is.
Yeah.
You have a Secretary of War who's an actual war fighter, but he came from Fox News. Wait, you went and found somebody who actually has been in combat? Real combat, boots on the ground sort of combat?
How about Hung Cao?
There's
New
another one.
Secretary of the Navy. Guy escaped, his family escaped communism. Man, you're talking about building a coalition that despises communism? You got one in the Trump administration. And a group of people that love America more than they even love themselves, because they would put themselves in the line of fire with Hegseth and Cao.
And so I point all of that out to just show you it really isn't Republican versus Democrat. This isn't even conservative versus liberalism. This is establishment versus the Trump administration, non-establishment.
Yeah.
The Trump administration is the only administration in my lifetime where they've legitimately actually gotten people from opposite sides of the aisle and said, you're the best for this, come and do this job.
Let's do this. And at mass, too, just in several places.
I mean, your director of national intelligence is a Democrat.
Yeah. But also a warfighter.
True.
That's the other thing. I think Donald Trump, and I say this all the time, and people will challenge me on it, but I do believe it. Whether you think he does the right thing all the time or makes mistakes all the time, whatever, you can never convince me that the dude doesn't love America. That guy loves this country. You can tell by the way he talks about it. You can tell by the way he describes it. And then you can tell by the cabinet he puts together that will defend it. To me, that's the biggest marker of his passion for the nation.
And so that is where we're at. And it's unfortunate that you and I are just used to, when you are part of that global elite, that communist establishment, what will you do to protect it? What will you do to fight for it? And oftentimes at this point, it's just violence. It's violence. And so I ask, as polls open, what are you going to do? Because I've only asked for one thing. Even when Charlie Kirk was killed, do you remember what we talked about?
Voting.
Go beat these people at the box.
You have to. It's the only place. Because that's the place that they can't stop you. Unless you entrench them in power and then they strip those rights away like it's happened across the world.
I mean, I only know of one party in recent times that actually looked to remove a presidential candidate from the ballot.
I don't know if you remember which one that was. It was really recently.
It actually was trying to take away your right to exercise your vote in the way that you saw fit.
And then would fight to get Trump off the ballot, keep RFK on the ballot, just to be able to murky and muddy the waters. That's what they've done. That's what the left did. And then anointed, too, right? They didn't have a primary.
Not at all.
They didn't ask their voters what they thought.
They haven't had a primary since 2008.
Everyone's been anointed. And every one of them have lost.
Have been selected.
Am I right about that, saying everyone since they... Have anybody, other than the statistical anomaly?
Well, even then, and I think people forget about this, Pete Buttigieg was one of the leaders when it came to their 2020 primary. And what they did is they cleared the field. They went to South Carolina because it looked like whoever's going to be the Democrat was going to lose by a large amount. And so it was clear the field, let it be Joe. And so you had the two primary people that were leading at the time bow out. Again, anointed, appointed.
Yeah. Hey, we need y'all to step down.
We need y'all to step down because we don't want to have your political careers hurt by a presidential run that you can't win.
That you know you're going to lose.
And then COVID starts, and now all the silliness starts.
Dude, and did you see what was propped up over there? The COVID safety protocols. I don't even know where that came from.
I forgot about that.
The other day, it was, turned around facing the wall. For whatever reason today, during this discussion pops up, and the COVID safety protocols. Sign the waiver. Maintain distance. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. I was trying to get the list. And somebody, whomever wrote Fauci in big letters on the top of it.
Fairly certain it was me.
Yeah, right.
Kind of looks like my handwriting.
Right, yeah, which makes sense. But just all the craziness. You're talking about the craziness that happened.
That's what this is about.
Lived through, dude. We lived through the craziest moment in American history, maybe.
It's establishment versus non-establishment.
Exactly
like, which end do you want to be on? Which one do you want to vote for? Because the establishment continues to dabble, especially on our side. We have Republicans that look at it and go, well, I mean, I know they're communists, but they're on my side.
Right.
We're trying to maintain power here.
We're splicing everything up for us.
Yeah, they can't be all that bad. Listen, they want to work with me.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Well, we want you out, and we want the Democrats out. That's what we want. And we want this rain that's falling down here at the Battery Atlanta, too, man.
Some good thunder. I haven't heard thunder in a while.
Yeah, it's clapping. It's clapping out there. So hopefully we get a good drenching rain since we are.
Be safe getting to work.
Yeah, that too. But since we are in drought protocol here in the state of Georgia, when we continue, the Trump Shooters Manifesto sounded like a typical mainstream media broadcast. Next on Extra.
Neal Boortz is only live on Extra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 106.3 app.
Jaron Solomon here, and if you want to absolutely win Mother's Day, listen up. Now through May 10th, when you make a purchase at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, you can receive a free Big Green Egg Grill with qualifying purchase. And this year, for all of you out there who have taken us up on this offer before, you also have the option of a brand new Traeger. You give mom something timeless, and you get the grill everybody wants. Visit Solomon Brothers Jewelers or book your appointment at solomonbrothers.com.
Welcome to Collins Hill Golf Club. Located only minutes between Georgia 316 and I-85 in Lawrenceville, lies one of Northeast Atlanta's best fun and affordable golf courses. A beautiful traditional layout with small undulating greens and narrow tree lines, and a new pond restoration project that will enhance the beauty and playability of the course. Collins Hill offers a wonderful challenge for every skill level. But golf is just the beginning of what you'll find at Collins Hill Golf Club. The clubhouse is the ideal place for members and guests to relax. The staff at Collins Hill is another key asset to the club. There is always something going on at Collins Hill Golf Club. Interested in competitive golf tournaments locally? Join the Collins Hill Men's Golf Association. Annual membership includes a golf tournament happening every month. Visit collinshillgolf.com for information. That's collinshillgolf.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Los with Tom, the honest car guy. Let's talk about the new way to buy a car in 2026. Tell me how you can save clients thousands of dollars in this process.
I got a customer here, Jeff Everhart. I met him today first time because I delivered his 25 model Honda Pilot, fully loaded with only 16,000 miles on it. Jeff, answer Los's question about that one.
It was actually shocking. I mean, you hear the advertisements, you want to believe it, and then when you go through with the sale, and there's no extras, there's no dock fees, there's no storage fees, no transportation fees. The price I was given was the price that I paid plus their honest fee. I did save thousands of dollars, and it was a very quick sale.
Well, we appreciate that.
And did it from my living room.
Did it from your living room.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Is your phone really more important than someone's life? When you take your eyes off the road, you're not just putting your life in danger. In fact, 2 out of 3 people killed in distracted driving crashes in Georgia were not the distracted driver. It could have been a family, a college student, a little girl. So when you're tempted to scroll, don't pick up. Think heads up. You never know whose life you could save.
Sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Hey, this is that Rick Jackson spot.
Too often, criminal illegals commit sick, violent crimes. Do that when I'm governor, and you'll end up deported or departed.
Dang. I know, right?
What do you have, sugar?
I'll take the meatloaf and Rick Jackson for governor.
He's something, ain't he?
He's tough.
Yeah, no tolerance for criminal illegals, no DEI.
No covering up for do-nothing career politicians either.
You know, Jackson came from nothing and built one of the biggest businesses in Georgia.
Now he wants to cut the income tax in half and freeze property taxes.
Yeah, but not for deadbeats.
Listen, I love this part.
No more free rides for people who refuse to work. You want to sit on your butt, binge watch Netflix, and scarf down Cheetos? Do it with your own money.
Be still my heart.
Bingo.
Amen to that.
Rick Jackson for Georgia, not a career politician. Paid for by Jackson for Governor, Inc.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, April 28th, and here are your headlines. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is defending a controversial joke about Donald Trump and Melania Trump, saying it was about their age difference and not a call to violence. Backlash comes after the joke resurfaced following the shootings here at the White House Correspondents' Center. Trumps are calling for his firing, but Kimmel says he regrets the timing, but stands by the joke. Georgia is now under a level 1 drought response as nearly 98% of the state faces severe conditions. Officials say water systems must promote conservation, though no major restrictions are in place yet. With rainfall deficits growing, some local governments are starting to limit outdoor watering. And finally, wildlife officials say snakes are becoming more active across metro Atlanta as temperatures begin to rise. Most are harmless, but residents are urged to avoid them and keep yards maintained to reduce encounters. Experts say copperheads are the most common venomous species. Any bites should be treated immediately. Today's weather is partly cloudy with early showers and a high of 72 and a low of 62. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
The GLP-1s have stolen from us, and that's all because
taking out some quality figures.
That's exactly right. Absolutely, the bummer. That's exactly right. That's what's disappeared.
Some of you have lost your bummer, and I'm just going to say this: I'm sad.
Right. GLP-1s make me sad.
GLP-1s turn you into a stick.
That's right. And I can't imagine that they're great for you otherwise either. But anyway.
Can that be our campaign slogan for mornings?
Don't take GLP-1s.
Just don't be a bummer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, absolutely.
Don't be a bummer.
Los and Tug for mornings, and don't be a bummer.
And don't be a bummer.
Dude, that's the campaign slogan that's a winner every time. This is the Morning Extra. And
Somebody, can you define bummer?
Yeah, well.
Don't be a bummer.
Yeah, that's right. Rob is on the phone at 404-741-1230. Wants to talk about the governor's race. Rob, what is on your mind?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I know you guys have done some interviews with some gubernatorial candidates. What I want to know is specifically, how can a governor suspend or limit local property taxes for a county or a municipality? Or can a governor suspend my SPLOST that I didn't even vote for? And then the other thing is going to 0% state income tax. The math just doesn't work. We can roll it back slowly like Governor Kemp has been trying to do, but it just doesn't work that way. And I don't think a governor can just like say, hey, you're stopping property tax increases by executive order or anything. And I don't think
Rob, I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that. And on top of that, I would question the folks that do talk about it, and that's something that the next time we get somebody that's running for governor on, we'll go into it. And as a matter of fact, Los, I think we've gone into it a little bit with Chris Carr the last time he was involved.
Yeah, and Rob, thank you for that call, because every single person has talked about, well, they want to limit or reduce property taxes. Realistically,
that's a local decision.
You can only support
that's right.
caps or reductions in property taxes. As far as I know, and we've had this discussion with a couple people, there's no such thing as an executive order that's going to do that.
That's right.
You have to work with the state legislature or some of your local municipalities if that's the direction things are going to go. And so that has to start at the Golden Dome.
And that's another thing that we brought
But I think a lot of it is the governor will support that.
Yeah, support. But they do talk about it. Rob's right, though. They talk about it like we're going to stop this.
They're all talking about it, yes.
This is something we're going to do. And I just don't know that they're going to be able to get that done. Now, will they be able to, as Los is talking about, work with people to do that? I hope so. I want to see your property taxes lower. I want to see my own property taxes lower. And then to the point about the income tax, Rob said we can ease into it, and he's using the Governor Kemp method. And we've heard other people I think Rick Jackson's actually brought that up, easing into it. Burt Jones has talked about elimination. I think Chris Carr talked about elimination, but getting there slowly. I think some of those people are considering what Rob is talking about.
Chris Carr gave us a little bit more of a plan as to how it would be similar to what we've talked about with Governor Kemp, how it would be phased. And that where that money would have to come from. Because
that's been our question every time.
Where does the money come from?
I love it. I'm all for it.
How do we pay for that?
How do you pay for it? Because taxes are not just going to disappear.
Well, because the challenge, and I think a lot of us look at Florida and are like, wow, look what they're doing with their property taxes, and they have no state income tax. Well, everyone wants to kind of follow that model. I don't think we want to be like Texas, where there is no state income tax. But take a look at your property taxes on a home that's very much like yours. You'll be like, whoa.
Yeah. So you just got to be careful with it. And Rob, great call. Appreciate you bringing that up. Those are the really smart calls that I love getting here on Extra 106.3 404-741-1230.
Rob's at the game, man.
Dude, Rob paying attention. Rob knows what's up. And I love that. But we've both shared the importance of being involved in your local school board and local government, county commission, city council, in the city that you live, the county that you live. That way you have some sort of say. And pick a candidate that you all believe in and get behind them. And here's the thing, Los, when it comes to those local races, it's not millions of dollars.
No.
It is, I mean, if you can start fundraising for a candidate that you believe in, that you support, you can make a difference in their campaign and benefit your community at a very small number. And it is just, hey, I'm willing to donate $1,000 or I'm willing to donate $50, whatever it is. But you start putting all that together with like-minded people, that number grows into, let's say it's $10,000 that you come up with. That changes the entire race, $10,000.
If you want to be on a school board and you brought $20,000 to the table, I think you're going to
win. And let's say your community, let's say people backing you, throw in another 5 or 10.
Yeah,
it's done. It's lights out.
$5,000 or $10,000, you're going to have an opportunity to get that spot or support somebody for that spot. And now you're talking about real change. It's as you said. This isn't about $40 million because it's a Senate seat. Leave that to the PACs and to everybody.
That's what they're there for.
When you want to talk about changing your community, it's the right people, it's several $1,000s, and it's finding those areas where you can go, that's where I can make a difference. I can support somebody who's making a difference.
Yeah, instead of sending $10 to a PAC, send it to a local candidate for school board, county commission, city council, and make a difference right where you live. Can't stress that enough. Feel like we stress it over and over and over again, but we'll continue to. And we'll continue to have those people on. Once what is the primary? What are we, 19th? So goodness, we're a short time away from that, less than a month away from that. So. It's just something to think about, man. We're definitely going to give those people that are running for those races some access here to Extra 106.3 to your ears. That way, you can hear from the people that are running in your neighborhoods, and then of course we'll get the people running for governor on. Is that important? Yes. The people running for Secretary of State, Kelvin King, people like that. We have them on, absolutely, and just hearing from them and knowing that they are
make your case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make your case.
Knowing that they're working hard.
I'm gonna ask pretty general questions. You make your case.
That's right. And you'll have an opportunity. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platform. I want to tell you something that I noticed, and I'm sure you did too. When the shooting came down on Saturday, I know you probably weren't surprised. If you listened to the show, you definitely weren't surprised. We were telling you that it would be a win, not if.
I didn't even tell the wife.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, another attempt at Trump's life.
Yeah. My wife asked me some questions about it because she had heard about it, and we had a conversation about it. And then the manifesto comes out, and he's a Democrat activist. He's donating to Kamala Harris campaign. He's quote tweeting CNN and MS Now and things like that on his social media. And then when you read that manifesto, it sounds like a CNN or MS Now newscast. Because every day for the last 10 years, they say the same things over and over again. Isn't it time for Democrats and their mainstream media to finally stop going and saying that Trump is part of the Epstein files, that he's a Nazi, that he's all these things, he's an authoritarian?
Well, let's just start with what he was throwing out there. Pedophile. Pedophile was entirely based on the hope that he was going to be in the Epstein files. He's not. Okay? Not as the way that they were hoping that he would be in there. In fact, the attorney for Epstein has told you he's not part of this.
That's right.
The person who was prosecuting the case said that Donald Trump was the first informant they had and was working with the FBI.
And the one that gave them the most amount of time.
Yes.
Said, whatever time you need, come to the office, and you can, because they asked him for an hour, and he was like, you got all the time you need.
So let's just start there. This whole pedophile thing has never worked out. It's a little different when it comes to the Democrats, the party of pedophilia.
Yes.
Let's see. What else? Rapist. It's never happened. Now, you have a really interesting situation where E. Jean Carroll ends up saying that she was groped, sexually accosted, whatever she came up with. You then had, because the left was running with this one over the weekend. Well, that's why they had a $90 million verdict against Trump. No, that is not correct either. It was because he said she's a liar. And you had a New York court said, well, we'll hit him for that.
Yeah, we'll get him for that. They continue on to call him an authoritarian. And it's interesting to me, Los.
Oh, and a traitor.
Traitor, oh yeah, traitor. Because of the Russian hoax. Russia. Which we
was
know.
A Democrat op.
Which operation. No different than every other operation, including Charlottesville, we know was now an operation. January 6th was an operation.
Everything in here is just leftist drivel. This is blue sky talking points. This is their own version of like yarn for cats. This is what excites them. This is what fires them up.
It's so tough when you're trying to weed through all this because most people don't keep up with it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, neither did a guy from Caltech.
Right, exactly.
If you want to say, hey, I'm upset because you shut down the economy in 2020.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Be angry.
I don't care that you started off the inflation game by sending us to $7 trillion in spending, and then Biden came in and decided that was the new baseline for the country, which gave us this crazy inflationary environment.
Be angry about that.
For that.
Yeah, sure.
Be angry about that.
And that's fair. That's a fair argument.
That's accurate.
That's an accurate and fair argument. But that's not, because that doesn't get anybody emotionally riled up. Because they're used to that spending just being out of control, because you can't comprehend those billions, trillions of dollars when you hear them. It's like when you walk by or when you drive by like a McDonald's sign and it says billions and billions served. You're like, how many is that? That's a whole lot. That's like Monopoly money. It didn't even make sense. So there's nothing to be emotional about there. But if you can bring in those emotional points of view where people don't have all the information, yet they hear a soundbite, they hear a clip, and then all of a sudden it's emotion and I hate this man, and he's the worst ever. He's the worst of all time. He's such a bad authoritarian, though, Los. You know why he's a bad authoritarian? Because authoritarians don't allow free media. They don't allow free press. And yet, Donald Trump reached out to many members of the journalist community, many members of the mainstream media, including John Carl. He reached out to John to ask him how he was. Listen to John Carl.
John, your phone rang early this morning?
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
Dude, this is ABC News. This is not Fox News. This is not the Daily Caller. This is not any of those so-called conservative outlets. This was a man that works for ABC that goes after him every day.
Whatever, Tug. He was just doing what he did in Butler, Pennsylvania.
That's not faking it. He just wanted his ballroom built.
He just staged it.
That's right.
Because then he was able to win the election based off that image in Butler, Pennsylvania. To fight.
What about the image they gave him? The one they handed off to him, the mugshot? What about that image? Did they ever take that one into consideration?
We may have not have thought that one all the way through.
That's right. I'm blown away that the president, who's more accessible to journalists than any other president in the history of the world. I mean, you hear people like Margaret Brennan and John Carl saying, he calls me, I call him, with regularity. Which authoritarians in the past have done anything remotely like that? I'll wait until you find me one because I don't know of one.
Where they're accountable over a phone call?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it kind of throws out the whole authoritarian thing.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, man, is the fact that this guy is so bad at being an authoritarian, he's calling to check on the journalists that report on him with regularity, with negativity.
It's so bad, Tug, that for be this much of a Hitler, yet you have the relationship you have with Israel. Dang it.
None of it adds up.
Man.
None of it adds up.
Really? Oh, God.
Dude, I've said
You're
this.
the worst Hitler ever.
I know. It's almost embarrassing that's your go-to. But it's tried and untrue.
So much of this, logically speaking, and I know this is part of what upsets the left, but let's just go through this because y'all are played on a regular basis. This is the same group of people who have had this entire timeline of this is what's going to get him, this is what's going to get him, this is what's going to get him, this is what's going to get him. And every single time they get so frustrated that it just comes and turns into, well, let's just shoot him.
We have to. And so we'll do it again. And this guy, the guy that went and did it this time, super well-educated, really smart man, yet falls for the same BS that crazy people fall for. It got him so upset he turned into a madman and drove or took a train across the country to go kill the president.
Talked about the importance and sometimes the danger of social media. We worry about it with young people because it can be so influential to them where they will view their own lives as not having any real positivity to it. Look how this person's on all these planes. Well, the planes aren't real. Okay? Look at how this person always looks. Those are filters. Okay? You're getting a negative body image of yourself because of what you perceive to be reality, which is not. We worry about young people.
Yep.
What happens when you are a blue sky and this sort of media stuff, when you're an adult? It still can have the same effect, where you will spout off stuff that just isn't even true, or has like very little handle of the truth,
and then go across the country to act on that emotion.
Yeah.
Because you can't control your own emotions. You believe everything that you see. You believe everything that you hear.
And not some fringe weirdo.
Not
a dude, Thomas Crooks.
A dude that's well-educated.
Regular dude in society
Well,
yet
at one point.
Well, he swallowed all of it.
Yeah, hook, line,
every bit of it.
Every dadgum bit of it, and we'll continue. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 Tug and Los until 10. A comedian finds out he's supporting communism under a newer, nicer name. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, April 28th. The Atlanta Braves close out the homestand with a 3-game series beginning tonight with the Detroit Tigers in town. The Braves start the day tied for the best record in all of baseball. It'll be Martin Perez on the mound against Casey Mize. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all of the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and free on the Fan app. From the NBA, Game 5 of the series between the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks gets underway from New York City at 8 o'clock tonight. That series currently tied at 2 games apiece. No matter the outcome, Game 6 will be back in Atlanta on Thursday night. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement.
Good morning.
And I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
Check your power bill from last summer. You want to repeat? Well, hey, it's the camera. I trust my friend Jeff at Peach State Windows. Cooling costs more than heat does, and your old windows let that heat in. Peach State Windows uses heat-reflective glass to keep cool air in, the heat out. 8 premium double-hung Energy Star windows installed for just $39.95. 0% financing for 12 months. PeachStateWindows.com. Here's the number, 770-485-8011. PeachStateWindows.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
It's April 28th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Superhero Day. It was created in 1995 by Marvel employees to celebrate their favorite heroes. Nowadays, there are plenty to choose from, Captain America to Black Panther, or our regular everyday heroes like those in uniform. Also on this day, space tourism became a reality in 2001. California billionaire Dennis Tito hitches a ride on a Russian rocket to the International Space Station. In 1994, a former CIA officer admits he was giving secrets to the Soviet Union. Aldrich Ames got life in prison in what is often considered one of the biggest spy cases in American history. And it was this day in 1967 when boxing legend Muhammad Ali refused Army induction, citing religious beliefs. He was convicted of draft evasion, but never went to prison because of an eventual Supreme Court appeal ruling. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Your drive home has never been better. The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. And here's what you missed.
You know, in some ways, what happened last night is more of a wake-up call than what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I almost wet my pants when I heard one of the reporters saying, well, in a room filled with 2,000 journalists, and journalists, my butt, they're the insurrectionists. They caused this to happen. They're the ones who, for years, covered up Biden, covered up the FBI, getting involved with people who go to school board meetings, the phony Russian collusion documents, the Steele document, the FISA court abuse, using the Department of Justice to go after Donald Trump and Biden, who coup against their own guy, shot him in the face, tried to kill him more than that. He's Nazi. He's Hitler. He's a war criminal. And you don't think they caused this to happen? They wanted this to happen. They knew this was going to happen, and they egged him on even beforehand, saying we want to make sure Donald Trump is not comfortable, that he's attacked and he's embarrassed at that meeting, and look what happened. And I can't wait for the Democrats to try to spin this as Donald Trump's fault, like those cackling traitors on The View and all CNN and MSSUX or whatever they're calling it now. They're responsible. Oh, and the fun part is, after it's all, finally the Mar-a-Lago raid, the phony documents, the Arctic frost and all that crap, and the FBI and everything else. And after it all came out, all of a sudden they're writing books saying, we were tricked, we were fooled, we didn't know the Bidens were so cagey, we didn't know it. Yeah, well, I think there's something bad coming. And by the way, we're all ready. I think this is getting worse. I think they're asking for a revolution. Gender stuff and Gaza hating and Jew hating, those are all Democrats. And they caused this last night. And by God, we're going to be talking about it. And I'm ready for something bad to happen because I don't trust them. And I don't know. I know they are not done.
The Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder are only on Extra 106.3 FM. And listen anytime on the Extra app.
Well, the rain has already stopped. We got a bit of a thunder. I don't know. It was the quickest thunderstorm that I've ever lived through my whole life. And as we sit through the beginnings of drought, I thought today was going to be a nice rainy day, and nothing, dude. It's already stopped.
It's supposed to be in the area until 11 o'clock.
Okay. Well, we need as much as we can possibly get. That would be nice.
That's right. Keep it coming.
That's right. As much as we can get.
Does the rain dance work in reverse?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. I've never seen it. I've never seen it work either way. But
go find out what those jinxes down the hall did.
That's right. Yeah, if it happened,
see what they did to mess this whole thing up.
It's their fault. Down at 680 The
Fan. I don't
Fan.
think you understand. These people, the last thing they ever want in Bray's radio network is a rain delay.
That's right.
So when it starts raining, that down the hall gets real tense and weird.
They start batting down the hatches, pulling out the big guns.
Like, are you kidding? We're going to have to take calls from Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi.
Hillbillies in North Georgia. Good Lord.
They don't want any part of that. We did have, I think it's been like 7 or 8 years since the rain delay prank.
Dude, it's one of the funniest things.
Maybe I'll post that.
Me and my son go back and listen to it just at random. I don't. We don't have a schedule necessarily, but one day he'll be like, "Hey, Daddy, remember this?" And it was all the ways that you could get somebody out in baseball.
So just the background story, and then we'll post this for everyone, especially for young Bryce. We had we had an intern that he was assigned. Okay, write all the ways that you can get basically an out made in baseball. And the person who assigned it was a former coworker, Brian Hoyt. And he just wanted to see how many the intern would come up with. Well, he had, because he looked it up, there was like 60-something of them. Ways to make it out in Major League Baseball. Well, then Hoyt had the bright idea of, I'm going to call in as a character.
During the rain delay
and try and name all of these ways.
And had to call multiple times because they hung up on him.
And then started using multiple phones, including his phone and his wife's phone, so that he was on the line multiple times whenever they went to another caller.
Can we end the show with that? I'll pull it.
Oh my gosh,
it's pretty funny.
It's good, dude. Especially on a day that it's supposed to be rainy through 11, like Lo said. Donald Trump is going to make them say nice things. You know, he's an authoritarian after all. He's going to make them, Lo, say nice things about ICE. And I think this is genius.
I have an underlying belief that whenever Donald Trump is about to do something, whether it's through executive order or some sort of announcement of what they're planning or some sort of change of policy, that what he does within 24, 48, 72 hours, and the timeline might get a little bit messed up with what happened Saturday night at the Correspondents' Dinner. But what Donald Trump does is he makes these announcements. He might say something like, well, we're going to make Canada the 51st state and watch the communists go nuts. He might say, yeah, Greenland, well, we'll see what we're going to, and then they go nuts. Or he might point out, hey, about ICE. Well, this is what our plans are for ICE.
In an airport, no. I said, fellas, do you mind taking off your masks in the airport? And they took them off. And people said, wow, these are nice guys. And they're helping the people with their bags. They're moving things along. It's a beautiful thing to see. People are starting to say, ICE, you're nice guys. We really appreciate it. So the Democrats, in their violence and viciousness, have done us a favor.
He started to joke around about renaming the organization so that you have to refer to it as nice.
And what did the Democrats, what did the left do?
Freak out.
It's like he goes and kicks the anthill over and watches them scatter and watches them pay attention to the National Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
National. It's now nice as an organization.
It's genius. He's going to force them to call ICE nice and the nice organization.
I'm telling you, he's doing this because whatever the next thing coming down the road is, they're going to be so mad, so upset that then they're going to be looking over, going like, "Oh, wait, he got it." He got us all agitated. Like, now you're not so fired up about this other end.
That's right. You're paying attention to Nice, and he's over here.
It's a magic trick.
I know it is, dude.
Look at my left hand. Don't pay attention to my right.
And it always works. Every time. Dude, every single time it works. And I expect something good, something big out of this, too. But just the fact that somebody at the White House or somebody in the administration goes, hey, dude, I got this idea. What if we put an N on the front of ICE and make them go nuts? And Donald Trump was like, that's good. Let's do it.
National Immigration and Custom Enforcement, just as you pointed out. Nice. Nice agents.
Yeah, those nice agents. And can you hear like Norah O'Donnell or one of Margaret Brennan? And the nice agents were really, really mean. Well, how could they be really mean? They're the nice agents.
It'll be like Gulf of America.
That's exactly right.
They will never go down that road.
We won't rest.
But yeah, can you believe what these nice agents are up to in whatever Marktown X?
Dude, our seminar caller that even called in yesterday is boiling over this. This has got him so sideways that he doesn't know what to do with himself. Have you ever had a situation where you couldn't do anything about it and it was just frustrating to you? That's what he's living through right now, because this is frustrating to him and there's nothing that you can do about it.
The only matter that I remember during the Biden administration that I was so frustrated with was when we kept pointing out, look at his schedule, look at the problems he's having when he's in public.
Yeah.
Don't you see we're diminished here?
Yeah.
And yet you still had the media kept trying to tell you, he's sharp as a tack.
Runs laps around me.
It's incredible.
I can't keep up with the guy.
I was like, he's not doing anything after 4 o'clock. And we used to be able to mark it down. If he had an appearance after 4 o'clock when Sunsetters had started,
Dude,
we were going to get a gaffe.
Yeah, we were going to get something.
And even after, and it wasn't until George Clooney, when he ended up writing the op-ed, when he saw him in California, when Barack Obama had to lead him off the stage because that was too late. He was just standing there. Barack Obama had to
grab him under his arm.
Kind of grab him under his arm and lead him like a child.
That's right.
And even then I was told, well, just wait. He's going to run circles around Trump in the debate.
It's going to be amazing. You're going to be blown away by it.
But that's what I remember, having that level of frustration over reality. Your Aunt Peg is upset that we're going to call an organization nice.
Dude, she is going to be so furious.
You say Aunt Peg, you call it the right name.
Dude, don't you get it wrong.
Don't you get it wrong,
because he's
Aunt Peg.
authoritarian. He'll come arrest you.
It's nice.
He'll put you under the jail.
I don't know if you know this. It's not immigration and customs. No, it's national.
Make sure you get that right. Dude, I can only wait. I hadn't seen it yet, but I expect I will see it soon. Here on my phone, if I pull up that little Facebook app, and it'll be, can you believe this maniac? I'm not ever gonna call it that! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Furious, just absolutely livid over something that doesn't matter whatsoever.
So my Facebook feed, which I don't take part in, but outside of just to like your kids' pictures of prom or the base hitting baseball or your anniversary. I'm like, love it. Good. Yeah. Good job. Awesome. I'm just acknowledging. I probably have 2% of people that are political on there. Mm-hmm. And because no one else is, they look like crazy people.
Oh, they do. Absolutely. The same way, my feed, it's kind of the same thing.
It's like the uncle that I can't do that to. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's
like my uncle's a sweet guy, but politically he is totally nuts.
Yeah, and it's disappointing and it's sad, and you just roll by it and go, well, hopefully they'll get better. Hopefully they'll feel better one day.
Well, hopefully they feel better about it. Look, you posted. You did great.
Yeah, there you go.
Good
now
for
you got it off your chest because you got nobody to yell it to, I suppose. Maximum Warfare was the command of Hakeem Jeffries. Only took about 48 hours to restart the rhetoric. Next, after a Fox News update on Extra 106.3.
The president has drawn a clear line. Law and order must come first, and surrendering to mob pressure just invites more chaos. As these complicated stories unfold, you need the most trusted local and national voices of Extra 106.3 to make sense of it all. And most importantly, how it affects your family and your community. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
It's everyone's favorite time of the year, May in the A. The Braves have 3 exciting matchups during the month, including the Cubs, Red Sox, and Nationals. Don't miss a moment at Truist Park, including some unbeatable deals during select games, like $15 tickets, $10 parking, $3 Miller High Lifes, $2 ice cream sandwiches, and daily deals at the Atlanta Braves Clubhouse store. And along with the great deals comes great fun. Fans can look forward to 5 must-have gate giveaways like the Hawaiian shirt, straw cowboy hat presented by Visit Sarasota, and more. Plus, don't forget to arrive early on select games to participate in pregame parades and player high fives, block parties in the Battery Atlanta, kids club activities in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park, and so much more. Visit Braves.com/May to check out the details and purchase your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Truck Month is here, and nobody does it better than Jim Ellis Chevrolet. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your truck, this is it.
Right now, Jim Ellis Chevy is stacking the savings, helping you save nearly $12,000 off MSRP on a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST.
We're talking dealer discounts, supplier pricing, customer cash, and bonus cash, all combined to deliver serious savings.
And if you qualify for additional offers like Costco incentives, you could drive your new Silverado home for even less.
Take Silverado stock number T16116. Its MSRP is $68,420. After Jim Ellis and manufacturer discount, sale price is only now just $56,564. Just add TABT and state fee.
Anybody can advertise a sale. No one does Truck Month like Jim Ellis Chevrolet.
Shop a huge selection of Silverados ready to go. Enjoy transparent pricing and a buying process that's just fast, easy, and built around you. Shop online at JimEllisChevrolet.com or visit Jim Ellis Chevy on Peachtree Industrial just inside the perimeter. Jim Ellis Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra.
You had a man in Ken Kerr who was trying to discuss why they had to have tampons available to them in the restroom.
Yeah. Those tampons at NFL stadiums and MLB stadiums, they're going to get used for not what they're meant to be used for. I can guarantee you that.
You're probably right. I can only imagine. Can you imagine walking into Truist and you walk in the men's room and you see that? Then you'd be like, dude, what is...
I'm taking a couple. It gives me something to fiddle with during the game.
Bryce has lost his mind over there, Los.
Just wanted to bring this along with me. Bryce decided to stick it in his purse just in case.
That's right. His man bag. It'll be his new fidget spinner.
That's very strange.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
Fox News.
We have a solid case.
That's U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, and she says more charges will be coming against Cole Allen, the suspected attacker at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night in Washington.
So we're learning more about the potential planning of the attack. 31-year-old Cole Allen booked his hotel room about 3 weeks before the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And the engineer and teacher made his initial appearance in court yesterday, facing at least 3 criminal counts. So far, he faces 1 count of attempting to assassinate the President of the United States, which could mean up to life in prison, 1 count of transporting a firearm across state lines, and discharging a firearm during a crime of violence.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. Allen returns to court tomorrow on Thursday. There's a renewed focus on political rhetoric. Senior advisor to First Lady Melania Trump, Mark Beckman, just told Fox.
Jimmy Kimmel should be terminated from ABC.
The day after the First Lady posted on X, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is corrosive. Upset over a Kimmel monologue last week before the White House dinner attack, joking about the Trump's marriage, saying the First Lady has the glow of an expectant widow. Well, Kimmel responded on his show last night that it was not a call to target the president.
Obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am.
Kimmel was suspended briefly last year over comments related to Charlie Kirk's assassination. President Trump is reportedly dissatisfied with Iran's offer to reopen the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. ends a blockade on its ports and delays nuclear talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio tells Fox,
I hope that in the aftermath of this conflict, the whole world's eyes have been opened to the threat Iran poses.
Oil prices rising 3% this morning. At the gas pump, a 6-cent surge today. AAA's national average for regular $4.17 per gallon, the highest price since the Iran conflict started. America's listening to Fox News.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea. We were meant to live free. Free to pursue our future, work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. I tried everything and anything to help me get rid of my pain, and nothing freed me. It just masked the pain and the side effects, diminished my quality of life. I'm sure you have been there if you have real bad pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that is designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. And it is not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor. It was created for people to get back to living their life on their terms. Is that you? Walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter? This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take your stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today. $19.95, 3-week quick start. Ready for you right now. Visit relieffactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF.
This is Tucker Carlson. You're listening to Atlanta's only conservative talk station, Xtra 106.3. Worldwide on the Xtra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on this rainy Tuesday. Milli Vanilli in your ears. And it was funny, Los. I was just happened to glance out the window, and I turned to Bryce, and I hit the talk back into the producer's room, and I was like, "Do you have something cute for rainy day Tuesday?" And he gave me the Grinch smile when he's devious and he's figured out that he is able to steal Christmas.
It's a sharp young man.
That is the look that I got. It was almost this without doing it. Rubbing his hands together. I cannot
Sweet,
wait.
clean Bryce goes evil.
That's right.
Dark Bryce.
Over Milli Vanilli.
This is how much fun, as far as our technical director and our producer Bryce, this is how much fun he is. That the evil version of Bryce is Milli Vanilli.
That's exactly right. It's so true. He's the sweetest kid you'll ever meet in your whole life. Just
nice guy. You know what I'm going to do to mess up this show?
Watch this.
Milli Vanilli.
They'll never see it coming. On a rainy Tuesday, we need it. We've, I guess, started some sort of drought protocol in Georgia, so we need all the rain we can get.
It's been a while since we played rain music.
It has. Well, yeah, it has been. That's why.
Like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, at least. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So welcome back, Rain. And welcome back, you, to the Morning Extra. Braves back at it today as well. Yesterday, our sister, while we were at Brookstone supporting Smyrna Public Safety Foundation, our sister station, The Fan, was supporting the Warrior Lions and the Austin Riley Golf Tournament, which is huge. And so just being out in the community is always good, and that's what Dickey Broadcasting does the best, is support community events just like those.
Yeah, you have an organization, and whether we're involved in it or you're looking to get us involved in it, reach out.
Yeah, it's easy.
We're always interested.
404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across
what is it
media
that
platforms.
Deion Sanders says? I ain't hard to find.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
We aren't hard to find.
No, yeah, right. We have this big stick that projects our voice everywhere. It's better than a megaphone. You can't even believe how amazing it is. But it is good to get the Braves back in action tonight, so I'll have something to watch on TV or listen to on the radio on 680 The Fan, which is what I've been typically doing, just sitting out as Laura plays Mahjong on the front porch on her laptop. She has like practice rounds that she does. And I just sit there with the phone in my lap listening to Ben Ingram call the game with Joe Simpson. Braves 20-9. They're playing the Tigers, which are 15-14. Something tells me we're going to continue the win streak.
Well, I'm really hopeful that Michael Harris 11 is in center field.
That's right. Yeah,
wonder who all gets that joke.
Large family, that Harris family.
That's right.
Michael Harris 11. Yeah, what do we have it this hour? I'm trying to think. No, we don't. So you'll just have to wait. That's the long tease.
That's right.
About Michael Harris.
We'll get into 11 Han Omar.
Yeah, that's right. I saw a tweet about that where it was like, her name starts with 11. I thought it was genius. Yeah, because I'm not super clever, so when I see super clever, I definitely recognize it.
I'm going to be doing this to every person who is the second.
That's right.
For the remainder of like the next month
or forever.
Yeah.
Might not ever let it
I'll
go.
be like, look, Michael Harris 11.
Yeah. What do you think about that guy?
He'll be like, you mean the second lowest?
Are you talking? No.
Listen, I went to the Leering Center.
Yeah, I thought it was 11.
I spent time, and I'm going back into the belly of the beast. I'm going back to Minneapolis this June.
That's right. No. Or maybe if you could just get an Uber ride just to the Leering Center just to take your own picture of the sign.
Don't hop in an Uber up there.
Well, okay, they are questionable.
Okay.
I do have one of the dads on the team, and hopefully, Rich, you're checking things out this morning. We'll see. And some of the other people that I know that you work with, thanks for checking out the show.
Yo.
We've been discussing if we ever get a chance. We're like, do you want to do that tour? Like, it's not that far away. It's only like 6 or 7 blocks. We can just grab an Uber over there. Man, I don't know if we'll get back.
Yeah, no kidding. But are they talking about to the Leering Center?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, I would love it.
It's not that far away from where we're at.
Dude, if you text me pictures of the actual Leering Center, I will fall out.
Can we fund meta glasses?
Oh, so I can take you on
yeah,
on the
that way
ride.
we can go the virtual tour.
I'll just say, here it is in all its glory. It delivered us 11 Han Omar.
That's right.
And Michael Harris 11.
That's right. God, dude, we live in such a wonderful time, don't we? It's just we make fun of everything, and it's so easy.
They don't make it hard.
No, they don't, dude. They sit it on a silver platter. They tee it up. Since we're at the golf tournaments, we just talked about. They tee it up for you just to drive it, and it's fun to do. I'll tell you that. So Hawks tonight too. Quickly before we get the first thing to know this morning.
Yeah, Game 5, 8 o'clock. The Hawks right now are about a 6.5 point underdog for this. You got to shoot the lights out if you want to win there, because I think New York has found out the formula for beating this team right now.
Yeah.
That's what happens over a 7-game series.
Yep, that's right. You figure it out. But I don't think anybody expected the Hawks to make it to the 5th game. So if you're a Hawks fan, be happy. Celebrate. Even if it comes to an end, celebrate the fact that it happened. Not that it came to an end, but the fact that it happened.
Oh, no, this thing's going 7.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Okay.
This thing's going 7.
Okay, both of you guys are totally convinced.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. I like it. 8 o'clock tonight is Hawks at the Knicks.
I got to give a quick shout out to my Penguins. Down 3-0, back to 3-2.
There you go.
Back to Philly.
The Penguins.
Yeah, you say it funny.
The Penguins?
Yeah, that's all. Penguins.
I had to explain Topanga to him on Friday when you were out.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was trying to explain.
The character?
Yes, I was trying to explain 90s heartthrobs.
Yeah. Just super cutie. Yeah.
And so then he looked it up and he was like, oh. And then I think it was like Marty who called in and was like, dude, no love for the Wonder Years?
Yeah, absolutely. Winnie Cooper.
Yeah.
Dude, Winnie was something else. She's still
really pretty.
good. I don't know what Topanga looks like. I may have to look this up real quick.
Oh, no. See how we distracted him? See how long? See, this is 90s heartthrobs. This is the people we grew up with because they were all our own age.
Yeah,
so it wasn't weird that hey, she's cute and she's 16. I'm like, well, I'm 15.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Topanga character
She
now.
could be my girlfriend.
She could.
Exactly. If she just meets me one time, you'll see.
Dude, she's still a pretty lady.
Sure.
Topanga's still a pretty lady. And Winnie Cooper's still just absolutely stunning. Let's do the first thing to know this morning on Extra.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high. Man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
Getting horny now.
No! Oh, because of Topanga. And because of Winnie Cooper, I
wasn't expecting that, but I'm glad it happened.
That's right. It's just me.
I just can't be locked down in this studio any longer as you talk around about 90s heartthrobs.
Just ripping open your shirt. Let's go. That which is an emotional reaction, right? We just have that emotional reaction sometimes with liberal Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries. He has emotional reactions in different ways. Now, I said yesterday I would love to see the Democrats and finally go, okay, this has gone too far. This is not good for anything. Knowing that it wouldn't happen, that's why Los laughing the way he is, because of course that's not going to happen. But I thought maybe for a moment, how long will it take before they go right back? Because you had Barack Obama with his, well, we don't know what happened, but I'm glad he's okay. And AOC, I'm glad
he only
he's okay.
wrote it down.
Yeah, exactly.
It was only everywhere.
Yeah. And so with them talking about how this is not the right way, political violence is not the right way, how long would it take them to get right back to the language that inspired the person out in California?
Before we play this audio, whenever you hear political violence isn't the right way, then there's a giant wink and nod over to their constituents, which is, you know what to do.
I have to say that.
I have to say this.
They're doing the hand pointing into your hand as to not let the person that you're talking about see you.
But you know what to do. In fact, if you're ever around a group of liberal people and you bring up Donald Trump or the administration, as long as they don't know your political feelings, they will start talking in the most vile of terms.
Yeah, they'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, ugly. Honest, but ugly. It is. So Hakeem Jeffries was asked about his calling for maximum warfare against Republicans. And he was so pissed that he got asked about it that he doubles down.
As it relates to anything that has been said, certainly as it relates to the comment related to maximum warfare everywhere, all the time, in connection with the redistricting battle that Republicans launched. I stand by it. You can continue to criticize me for it. I don't give a damn about your criticism.
And as he links it to, in the interest of redistricting.
Yeah, right.
All we're pointing out is when you say maximum warfare,
your crazy followers,
and you don't connect it to that. And then when you're caught in it, you then say, no, you don't understand. I meant it like this.
This is what I was talking about. I don't know how you could get it wrong. How? See, there you go again. You are wrong again. It's all your fault.
You can go to the shooter's social media. And, of course, you can go to their manifesto. There is nothing in there that isn't on nightly programming on CNN and MS Now. There is nothing that is outside of the regular purview of what Democrats talk about. Nothing. Not one bit. It's their language. This person is just echoing the language that is in front of them all the time.
Some would call it a love language.
Yeah.
They because they connect on it. We hate Donald Trump so bad that we want to celebrate. And you saw it last night, how many people are on either suspension, been fired from their jobs, again, because they can't hide their hatred. They can't even pull it together for long enough not to post it on social media.
Let me just give you a 40-year history of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I'm going to make it very simple. He slams models, okay? That's who he goes slamming with. All right, that's his scoreboard. That's his kink. Models, hot models, models from all over the world. And when he's not doing that, well, then he has non-disclosure agreements with adult porn stars. There's not one portion in that man's history that has anything to do with pedophilia. Yet, the Democrats threw such a Hail Mary in hopes that there was some connection to Epstein that then they spent a year, 2 years. By the way, had they had anything, it would have come out in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020.
Of course.
They spent so much time on that even a person who decided they were going to be armed and go to the correspondence dinner was even using pedophile throughout his manifesto with no history of it.
Right. And that is what is repeated.
That's what resonates.
It's what's parroted over and over and over
so
again.
So maximum warfare.
Yes.
In relation to redistricting. That's not what he meant.
And his followers and the people that believe in it. I want to play you this kindergarten teacher really quick. Corrine Baum is her name. She was fired for a post about the Trump assassination. This woman's teaching little tiny children. She's mentally unstable, emotionally immature, and acting like the mainstream media orders that she's been given. Listen to this. This foolishly says this stuff online.
Man, there's been a few creators on here saying that like Friday or yesterday could have been the day. And then I wake up to that news, but not that news.
With the hand over the throat.
We're going to have to pay really close attention
to
what they're trying to actually distract us from.
Yes. So this woman no longer has a job.
Well, sucks to be you.
It does. But that's the thing. when he talks about maximum warfare, he's talking to her.
Yes.
He's talking to the dude that went from California to Chicago to D.C. He's giving them their marching orders. They interpret it just how he's sending it out. Nothing to do with redistricting. No one has mentioned redistricting. The shooter didn't. She didn't. The other people that are getting fired or suspended didn't. They aren't talking about anything like that.
Listen, I love this audience. And every single time that any of you come up, like even yesterday, stopping by to talk about the show and what we get into and the way that we do so, you honor us with that. But I will also tell you that when you share your political views with me, I'm looking at it and going, oh, okay, that's cool. But I am not sitting there thinking to myself, how can I take what you just told me and plug it into my own? That is the scary part of what's going on with these people, that once they find a little bit of of social media clout, it might be 500 people that are following them, might be 1,000 people that are following them. And now they've got this, the further I push it, the more people are listening to me. Mm-hmm. And they get caught up in it. And now it turns into, you are willing, or you weren't even aware, that you could lose a job over this. And
Corey figured it out.
And anytime she tries to go get hired from here on out,
she's going to have to tell them, well, I did get fired from this one kindergarten job. I was talking about killing the president. And the interviewer's going to be like, hang on.
You did what?
Hang on, where's that at?
You did what?
Did you put that on your resume? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I mean, it'd be one thing if Tug and I were ever terminated and it was, well, they had a technical glitch happen and they cursed on air and our license, we had to do this.
We had to do it.
And I could sit there and explain at my next position, we had a technical error.
The dump button didn't work, whatever.
This went out over the air, somebody said something, and the license was at stake. I get it. I would have done it myself.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really hard to explain that I was fired for threatening the life of the president.
Yeah. And I was a kindergarten teacher.
As a kindergarten teacher.
This woman teaches little children. And what about Patrick Meyer, social studies teacher at a school out in Wisconsin? They've been made aware, the school district made aware of the social media post. And it says, I'm not impressed with the recent presidential assassinations. It's effing embarrassing. And he goes through a whole bunch of names. Must be spinning in their grave. Sad. I'm not impressed with the assassination attempts.
So when Hakeem Jeffries says it, when Tim Walz says it, when Nancy Pelosi acknowledges it, do not believe that as long as you're a member of the left that you're in the club. You are not. That is the nature of what happens with communism. It's the party and then everybody else. And it's their club. It's not yours. Now, you might support it and you're like, hey, I'm coming along for the ride. You are now, in communist parlance, a useful idiot.
Dude.
They're not going to save you.
And if you just saw him on the street, you wouldn't think that this dude is as nutty as he is. And that man is teaching your children.
And there you go. There's another one where, can you imagine having to explain this to your family as you're getting ready to go on summer vacation?
Yeah, so
Dad doesn't have a job.
That's right.
Because he couldn't stay quiet on social media over an attempt to murder the president and the entirety of his staff.
Or what about dinner Friday night when you go out with the friends and family? And they're like, Patrick, how's work? How's everything? Well,
I just lost my job.
Yeah, what'd you do, dude? I mean, did you set the building on fire? Did you?
I went on X and started saying how the president needs to be killed.
Yeah, he that John Wilkes Booth and Oswald must be rolling in their graves. That's what I talktalked about.
That's what I put out there.
Yeah, that's
apparently the school district didn't have any tolerance for it.
I'd be like, Patrick, are you serious right now? Like, I'm serious. Like, if you were the friend.
You were the friend.
You're like,
seriously,
dude,
you couldn't just keep it to yourself?
What the hell are you doing, dude?
No, because these people feel this need to signal to everyone else that they are part of the resistance.
It's unbelievable.
You're not in the club.
And the thing is, Patrick's not in the club.
Listen, Tug and I understand. We are not in the club. This is the part of the reason why whenever we have politicians here, we're interviewing them to find out what they think, knowing damn well that Tug and I will never be in the club. But we're trying to find out, what direction does this person want to go? Are they too from outside the club trying to get to the club? And when they get there, will they stay outside the club like the Tim Burchetts of the world or the Ted Cruzes of the world or the Donald Trumps of the world?
You've got to know who you're voting for, and you got to know what it is that's going to move the needle. The disruptors, that's what you're looking for when it comes to the election, because early voting starts today. Look for the disruptors. Vote for the disruptors. And make sure that these fools stay on their toes all the time. When we come back, Neal Boortz, the Talkmaster, has some strong feelings on Jimmy Kimmel. We'll talk about it with the Talkmaster next. The only place you can hear Boortz is Extra 106.3.
Wherever you are in Georgia, you can stream Extra 106.3 and crystal clear digital with the all-new Extra 106.3 app. Get Extra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neal Boortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, this is Los with Terry from Alpharetta, who just purchased a new car with the Honest Car Guy, the new, fully transparent, honest way to buy your next vehicle. Terry, tell us about your experience.
I have a son serving in the military. He's active duty with limited time to look for a car. My son was looking for a used Hyundai Veloster, and I had heard about the Honest Car Guy on the radio, decided that might be a route to go, and we made a phone call over the weekend. He screen shared the information with us. We looked over the vehicle, and he took the reins from there, and they were able to walk us through the process of buying the car. We're very clear and transparent, and next thing we knew, we had a car in the driveway.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Most people are, and they don't even realize it. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Every year, hardworking individuals and business owners send more money to the IRS than they legally have to. I hate to see it. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the tax code is complex. It's always changing, and it's full of opportunities most people never hear about. So here's the real question. Could you be paying less in taxes? With the right strategy, many people can. Through smarter planning, overlooked deductions, and better retirement and income decisions, you can win in retirement. That's why we're offering a complimentary tax analysis. No cost, no obligation, just a clear look at where you may be overpaying and what you can do about it. Stop guessing, get answers. Call Nicholas Wealth Management 678-990-8500, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
At Georgia Power, we are committed to protecting our customers' personal information and exposing the tricks that scammers use to steal your hard-earned money. If someone comes to your door and doesn't have a Georgia Power uniform and badge, or calls you on the phone and threatens to turn off your power if you don't make an immediate payment, they are scammers. If you suspect a problem, call us immediately. Never let the person into your home, and call law enforcement if you're concerned. To learn more about how to protect yourself, visit georgiapower.com/scams.
Sponsored by Georgia Power.
Join Daniel Matalon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is Jackie the Fly Lawyer Patterson. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
You hear bail bonds and you think one thing. Someone to get you out of a jam. But A Second Chance Bail Bonds is built differently. This family-run team, led by brothers Daniel and Ryan Matalon, believes everyone deserves a second chance. And they prove it every day through the A Second Chance Community Foundation. They support local nonprofits, partner with law enforcement, and stay active in community programs, food drives, and safety initiatives. Bottom line, they don't just work in the community, they're part of it. Learn more at a2cfoundation.org. That's a2cfoundation.org.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, April 28th, and here are your headlines. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is defending a controversial joke about Donald Trump and Melania Trump, saying it was about their age difference and not a call to violence. Backlash comes after the joke resurfaced following the shootings here at the White House Correspondents' Center. Trumps are calling for his firing, but Kimmel says he regrets the timing, but stands by the joke. Georgia is now under a level 1 drought response as nearly 98% of the state faces severe conditions. Officials say water systems must promote conservation, though no major restrictions are in place yet. With rainfall deficits growing, some local governments are starting to limit outdoor watering. And finally, wildlife officials say snakes are becoming more active across metro Atlanta as temperatures begin to rise. Most are harmless, but residents are urged to avoid them and keep yards maintained to reduce encounters. Experts say copperheads are the most common venomous species. Any bites should be treated immediately. Today's weather is partly cloudy with early showers and a high of 72 and a low of 62. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Oh boy, I hear Neal Boortz has had enough of Jimmy Kimmel. The only place you can get Neal Boortz is here on Extra 106.3, and he joins us on the Morning Extra. Neal, what's up with you, man? How are you?
Well, you can get me on the first tee in about an hour and a half.
Oh, good for you.
All right.
Ready to go. We got rain in the area, so.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, I know. But
Hey.
have you been playing well lately when you've been going?
Well, I got that new club.
Yes, your 45-day club.
Yeah, it's good for about another three weeks.
Oh, good. There we go.
Yeah, the 357 club.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I love that. I got to invest in one.
How often are you changing out your gear at these days?
My set of clubs is, at least 5 years old.
Yeah, I think right now I'm on a year 3, but my previous ones I held for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
How long are you supposed to keep them for? Because I've had my the clubs that I bought on the Kmart Blue Light Special for $85. I've had those for about 28 years now.
Yeah, I mean, re-grip them. You have to re-grip them.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I don't even think I've had to do that.
The technology changes so routinely that you start seeing, wow, how much yardage am I giving up if I stay with this older club?
I don't care about yardage. I care about direction.
I'm big on, can I keep it accurately headed for the green stuff?
I still have a set of persimmon woods.
Is that? I don't.
You might as well be speaking Spanish to Tug.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Well, what is persimmon?
Is it not like a flavor or something?
Okay, snakes. I mean, I'm going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel, but
it is fruit. I'm not wrong about that. So what is the? I'm still missing something. Something still.
Persimmon. Persimmon woods are wooden woods.
Okay, well, good. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you got it. Back to Jimmy Kimmel.
Back to snakes.
Snakes. First of all, snakes on the rise in the warmer weather in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Don't kill the black snakes.
No, they are our friends.
That's right.
They are.
Don't, and it's illegal to kill non-venomous snakes. I think most people know that.
You say.
Yeah, Neal Boortz, don't you put yourself in a bad situation?
Yeah, you run into a king snake, you treat that as a friend in your yard.
I love them.
You know the difference between a snake and a lawyer, a dead lawyer and a dead snake in the road?
I don't, Neal.
Well, there are skid marks in front of the snake.
Love it.
Lawyer.
Okay, I was back in the era when I actually had a single family home and had to, on 2 acres, and had to do all of this weed whacking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. With the weed whacker one day, I stirred up a nest of brand new copperheads.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, boy. Oh. They were all over the place. And so I was running all over the backyard with the weed eater, killing copperheads. And Donna was like, "What are you doing out there?" "I'm killing copperheads." But they're nasty. And we lived on the river, so of course, we had a number of them.
Yeah, man, that's like nightmare scenario for me.
Yeah, it is. Those things,
okay,
and I love snakes, but those things are mean.
Answer me this.
Yes, sir, I'll do my best.
Was it Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel that did that TV show way back when with Ben Stein?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if you're thinking, okay, so Jimmy Kimmel used to do the Man Show. That was with Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
And so that was the previous one. I mean, obviously, Jimmy Fallon spent a lot of time with SNL, but I'm not sure about ever running into Ben Stein. Let me see what I can find.
Yeah. Because I had whoever that was, I admired him. I said, that guy's got talent. He's funny. But Jimmy Kimmel, he's a void surrounded by a sphincter muscle.
Win Ben Stein's money. Yeah, that was a Jimmy Kimmel, Ben Stein show in the late 90s.
Was it Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. But yeah, because he's not a comedian anymore. He is just obsessed with Donald Trump.
Well, he's above comedy now, as it was put to me, and I believe this to be true from him and guys like Stephen Colbert. Their activism has now taken precedent over being funny.
Well, no matter whether he was talking about age or assassination attempts, the fact was he put a man's wife on the screen and said she is looking forward to her husband dying.
Yeah, the glow of a widow.
Yeah, and if ABC's balls never dropped, okay, that's their problem.
And they're going to do nothing about it.
They're going to do nothing about it.
Not one thing. Yeah, don't expect that.
No, but he should be his. Watching TV, I see these flashbacks to Johnny Carson, and I think
saw one this morning too when he was hosting the Oscars.
Yeah, or when he would have Rodney Dangerfield on, or the famous Sis Boom Bah. Did you hear about the Sis Boom Bah?
No, but I've watched the Dangerfield ones before.
Yeah. Well, Karnak the Magnificent.
Oh, yeah, okay. Know that.
He would be handed an envelope, and he would guess the name or guess the question in the envelope, and he would provide the answer before he opened the envelope. You got it? So he pulls that envelope out one time, and he holds it up to his head, he says, Sis Boom Bah. And then he opens the envelope, and the question was, what is the sound when a sheep explodes? And it is one of the funniest things you will ever see on TV. And Carson and McMahon, they just started laughing. They couldn't stop laughing. And so there's nobody on late night TV like that now. I mean, I like Gutfeld. He's got a wicked little sense of humor. But there's nobody on there that'll honestly just entertain you as you are ready to bag it for the night.
Well, and I think presidential comedy is never off limits. It's, again, I really like offensive, controversial comedy. Like, I'm a big fan of it. It's just, given the light of the situation and what has been going on.
And who he is,
and
knowing
what he's doing, and knowing that his wife is the one who's writing this, who's already disowned her family for voting for Donald Trump. There's an air of hopefulness about it rather than comedy. More of, I can't wait for this person to be dead.
Yeah. And that brings up this. There's been 3 assassination attempts on Donald Trump. And now, the left, not all of them, but a lot of them are celebrating each and every one of them and bemoaning the fact that they weren't successful. Tell me that this isn't encouraging the next person to try to kill the president.
Oh, it's an ongoing. Put it this way, Neal, and Neal Boortz, the Talkmaster, is our guest right here on the Morning Extra. When Butler, Pennsylvania happened, Tug and I couldn't stop texting each other. When Mar-a-Lago occurred, we couldn't stop texting one another. We didn't even send a note to each other on Saturday because this has now become just part of what you're dealing with this communist revolution that's going on in this country. And I wanted to ask you it from this perspective, Neal.
Yeah.
You did this for a long time and had a daily show. Do you ever remember there being this level of violence to the point where it has become regular to expect a political group to be violent?
Well, the only thing that we expected was death threats against me.
Sure.
And one time, back in the Ring Radio days, does that station still exist, that frequency?
Yes, sir. That's the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM, the one down the hall.
Down the hall.
Well, they stopped a guy charging through the front door and heading for the studio with a shotgun while I was on the air.
Goodness gracious. I can't imagine the bravery it took somebody to tackle.
Well, they didn't tell me about it till the show was over. Yeah.
I bet you were giving a big handshake to whoever stopped it.
Oh yeah. And on another time, we had a what do you call it? An estranged husband break into the radio station and stab his wife to death in the front office.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, you lived through some stuff, Neal.
Well, that had nothing to do with me.
Well, yeah, but if it happened in your office, it seemed like it would have some effect on you.
But now the security is much tighter. I know that you people have Mohawk boy sitting outside of your studio all the time.
Dude, our building's on. It's tough to get into our building, which we appreciate.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Yeah, if you've been outside the building before, you know how difficult it is to get into the building.
I have been.
Yeah,
and you're promoting that I'm going to be on your show, and I'm standing out there exposed to the elements, waiting for somebody to come downstairs and open the
There's
damn
so many
door.
communists out here. Watch out.
My goodness, some communists just gather here at the Battery? Who would have thought?
But if you switch parties here, I don't know how to phrase this, but talking about the Social Security, the Secret Service, and the actions that they took on Saturday night, if it was the Republicans who were making sure that Social Security, or God, don't say that, Secret Service agents were not being paid, every media report would say, by the way, these Secret Service agents haven't been paid for 71 days. But it's the Democrats that are keeping them from being paid, so that is never mentioned in the news the news coverage.
Peep, you're exactly right. And they will continue to not say a word about it because it fits everything that they believe. They want that revolution just as much. I'm convinced of it. They all donate. What is it? 96% of journalists.
I thought it was 94, but
whichever. We'll go with 94.
Yeah,
and be more conservative about it. That 94% of journalists identify as Democrats and donate to the Democrat Party. So they clearly believe all of the things that they're espousing. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't matter. It goes through the narrative.
They will go out of their way while trying not to look too obvious to tilt and slant all of their reporting in favor of the Democrats and against the Republicans. That's why the headline is not reading unpaid Secret Service agents prevent an assassination.
That's right. And when you throw in everything that's going on in the world, and then you now flash back to what we know, right? Jake Tapper knew that Biden was incapable. He waited until after the coast was clear and everything. Then he writes his book. Exactly. Yeah. He knew it the whole time. They all knew it the whole time. They all knew that the Southern Poverty Law Center, what they were paying for, their investigations that they do, uncovered all that. They knew it all. I guarantee you they knew it all. Yet they went with the good people on both sides hoax. They promoted that. They knew it the whole time, Neal.
There was not one single White House correspondent for any major network, any cable network, any newspaper, not one of them out there that did not realize that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent.
Zero of them. It was the biggest. The Swalwell thing's no different, Neal. They all knew
Ted
that.
Lieu?
Ted Lieu, absolutely. The guy that went to shoot Trump lived in Ted Lieu's his district,
echoing everything that Ted Lieu says.
Exactly right.
There was a horrible quote from Ted Lieu over the weekend. I'm looking for it. You guys probably have it on your right in front of you. But what a preface he is.
Yes, he is. He is because all he does is talk about Donald Trump being a pedophile, Donald Trump being this, that, and the other thing. And just like Lo said, everything that he says was in the manifesto that the guy that was in his district went to.
I hate to be the predictor of what typically happens, but when these people go down the road of calling somebody a pedophile, more times than not, more than 0 out of 100, they always find child pornography on their porns, on their computers.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ones that shout about it the loudest.
That coin, Republicans seem to be awfully fond of calling Democrats pedophiles, too.
Oh, I love doing it. I mean, I'll point out the fact that it is the party of pedophilia. There's a very strange correlation that these people who continue to do the things that they do, and then you find out, oh, look, the thing that's never happened again. All the time.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Donald Trump never went to Epstein's little island, did he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
No, not that. And if it had happened, that would have been out for 10 years now, because they would have used it against him with Hillary. They would have used him against him when he ran for office against Biden, and they would have used it this time.
And what I said, Neal, what we know about Donald Trump is he has a history of hooking up, marrying, slamming, whatever, models, and had a non-disclosure agreement with an adult porn star. There has never been anything in relation to pedophilia.
By the way, have you seen her lately?
Yeah, she has really fallen off.
Fallen off? God.
Yeah. Talking about Stormy?
I'm just saying that from whatever she was before, it's like she ate a second Stormy.
Tawny Katane, the one that used to do the cartwheels on the White Snake video hoods of the Jaguars back in the day, she had that same thing happen.
Well, her only possible building in the future is Stormy and her donkey at little out-of-the-way strip joints.
Oh, no.
I'm not taking that path.
Leave that one alone.
Actually, that would be on stage at Ciudad Acuña down there on the Texas-Mexican border.
Don't ask, Tug.
I'm not
Do not
saying,
ask.
Oh, no, I'm not saying
those of us that grew up in Texas, we have long heard these stories.
Yeah.
So I was told about those stories in the Navy and almost threw up in my mouth.
They're all true.
Oh, God.
But look, there is always somebody down there. There's always somebody down there to watch your car for you while you're busy.
Neal, pull it. Yuck. Just yuck.
You didn't expect that this morning.
I did not. That's eye-opening.
Now, our senator down here, Rick Scott, he wants the Republicans to hold the Democrat feet to the floor. He wants to force the Democrats into a vote today on whether or not they are going to finally allow Secret Service agents to be paid.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, because they need to be paid. I mean, and here's the bigger thing for me. If the government's not funded, the politicians shouldn't get paid. They shouldn't. Period.
I agree.
100%. They shouldn't. This shouldn't even be a question.
I absolutely agree. And all we've managed to do to them is revoke their privileges at Reagan National.
That's it. So they can't go through security quickly, which they should have never gotten that perk to begin with.
Amen to that. They shouldn't have their own damn parking lot there either.
No, they should have, just like we have to look for a parking place, they should too. They're of the people, for the people, by the people, right? So why are they above the people?
Because they can put themselves there.
I know. They vote themselves that way.
What is it?
Yeah.
George Carlin, we love talking about this. It's one big club, and you ain't in it.
He was genius, wasn't he, Neal?
Oh, yeah, he was. I mean, he had a lot of attitudes, ideas that I didn't agree with.
Oh, sure, me too. But I'm okay with that.
He was hilarious.
Yeah,
he was funny. And okay, Jeffries. What a jerk.
The maximum
House,
warfare guy.
The minority dude.
Yeah, minority leader. Yep.
Talking about the violent Republican mass deportation machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a minute. What has resulted in more deaths in this country, or more deaths anywhere for that matter? Deporting illegals or opening the borders and allowing them to flood in?
Opening the borders, allowing it to flood in. The amount of people that were actually dying in the desert that weren't even making it here. And then the amount of, and this is another issue that the Democrats never want to talk about, the 400,000 children that were lost to child enslavement in this country is a ridiculous number, and they never want to have that discussion.
No, they don't. But Jeffries can get up there, the violent Republican mass deportation machine. Excuse me. No major media outlet is going to say, well, actually, here's the statistics, people. This many people have been killed in America by these people that flooded across our southern border. This many people have been killed through outright murder or drunk driving or whatever. And this is how many people who have died being deported from this country. Which one of these is the most dangerous? Again, the media won't do it.
No, of course they won't, Neal, because they support it. Again, it goes back to their beliefs. They believe everything that they talk about and the position that they take on it and the way that they report it. And that is the way the Democrats, a.k.a. communists, they believe it the same thing. So why would they? They would never call that stuff out because they want it to happen.
I'm going to come around to your side pretty quickly, I think, because I always strongly avoided calling people communists when I was on the air because it was such an easy thing to do.
Well, and it seemed like a joke at the time because my father-in-law, I tell Los this all the time, my father-in-law, anytime something doesn't go right, like if he was playing golf and he shanks it, he's like, stupid commie ball. You know what I mean? Everything's a joke. Now it's not. It's real.
Now it's not. There's two types of people in the Democrat Party. There are communists and there are useful idiots. And that's the two branches of the Democrat Party. The useful idiots do not understand what they are promoting and pushing and supporting. The other side absolutely does. I want to go back to something that I told Donna the other day. I'm going to do a commentary on this. This has troubled me for much of my career on talk radio, but I wouldn't talk about it. And she said, well, why not? And I said, because car dealers were always major sponsors on the radio. And I didn't want to tick them off. But there was a Wall Street Journal article the other day about a guy trading in a Ford F-150 Lightning, which I have no idea what the Ford F-150 Lightning is.
They had converted it to an EV version of their F-150 pickup truck.
And then they ditched out on it after a year, losing how much money they did.
I think it was $5 billion.
Yeah.
Well, it cost $87,000. Oh, no, wait a minute. This customer owed $87,000 on that pickup truck, and he went to trade it in on a $47,000. Back up. He was trying to buy an $87,000. Let's just put it this way: he was underwater $47,000 on that pickup truck
on the EV.
when he went to trade it for a Mercedes GLE. $47,000 underwater. He owed $47,000 more than that pickup truck was. And 30% of borrowers in the first quarter of this year, 30% of them who traded in a car to buy a new one had negative equity. In other words, the car dealer had to take the money they still owed on the trade-in and add it to the loan for the new car. And payments are getting close to $1,000 a month right now because people are driven by this absolute need for a new car. Their life isn't worth living if they don't have a brand new car. They'll lose credibility. They'll lose prestige. So they got to have that new car, and they're getting into $1,000 a month payments over 6 or 7 years just so they can have a new car. And you talk about an easy way to get yourself in financial trouble for the rest of your life. It's to be underwater in your car, owe more than it's worth, and go trade it in on a new one.
So we have on this station, we have Tom, and Tom is Honest Car Guy, honestcarguy.com. One of the things that he works through is, listen, if you want a new car, here's the situation. If you want to, and this is what he predominantly pushes, let's find that car, a year old, limited amount of miles on it. And so that initial 20% that just disappears the moment you drive it after the lot, that depreciation, you never deal with that. And I have sworn by that.
I like that.
The last vehicle that I bought, Neal, was last year for my wife. It was a 2024 that we purchased in 2025 that still had all the bells and whistles and everything else. When we did the math on it, we were able to actually pay less for that vehicle than the previous vehicle we had gotten her that was not as nice of a car. But it was always about, let's let the depreciation, the dealer deals with that. You don't deal with that when you drive it off the lot.
Let somebody else take the hit.
Yes.
There's always new car buyers that die.
It's true.
I mean, that's how I got my Jaguar XKR.
Listen, okay, that happens also if you're not thinking about rooting or taking advantage of death, there's also fleet vehicles. There are thousands of fleet vehicles that dealerships and different groups use that will have 5,000 miles on them and will be significantly less 1 year old than their new model that comes out.
Yeah, my wife's car is a former rental car.
Yeah.
You know how you can tell? They don't have gas caps.
What?
What? I didn't know this.
I've never heard of this.
Well, next time you rent a car and you fill it up, open that little flap for the gas cap, and instead there's a little flap valve in there. You just stick the hose in. That way rental car companies aren't replacing gas caps all the time.
I'm going to take your word on this because I rented a car not too terribly long ago, and it had a gas. Maybe they just hadn't gotten to it yet. Maybe
I don't guess all of them do that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but some do, and the only problem with Donna's car, it's a gorgeous car, is that it doesn't have GPS because the rental companies like to charge you extra for GPS.
Right.
But we know every
phone.
We know every goat trail and back road where we live anyway, so we don't need that.
There you
go. All right, this is noted from AI that you do have rental car companies that will intentionally look to have cars in their fleet that do not have gas caps so that they don't get lost. So it's not like those, but they're looking to add those to the fleet.
Because my pickup truck doesn't have a gas cap. It's just got the flap that you're talking about. Yeah. But I know exactly what you mean. I just
you know
didn't
where my
realize
pickup truck is, don't you?
It was underwater last time I heard.
No, it was, but you got
it replaced.
No, it's in a rack right now with a .50 caliber mounted in the back.
Have you been keeping up with it? You keep tabs on it?
Yeah, I track the VIN number.
Yeah, that's right. You got a .50 caliber back.
Yeah, it's registered now to Osama bin Dirtbag.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, he probably needs something to drive around in a rack. I mean, you probably just took care of the guy. He got a good deal on a car that's been underwater for a little while. And I don't mean financially underwater. I mean physically underwater.
No, that was one of my favorite cars ever.
I've heard you say
that Chevy. What was it? Chevy Colorado Duramax diesel.
Dude, I love it. I love those trucks. Ain't
great.
nothing better than a pickup truck, Neal. And I heard you say ugly things about pickup truck drivers, and I'm a pickup truck driver, so I resemble that remark.
They're all accurate.
Well, yeah, you do. You're an aggressive driver. I've heard.
I'm not. I drive in the slow lane all the time. My wife makes fun of me because I'm an old man driver.
I'm getting there.
You're not there yet.
Yeah. By the way, be careful. The Portuguese man of war is spreading.
Oh heavens! Well, that's terrible news.
Painful.
Yes, I hear. It's bad.
I took one across the chest one time water skiing.
Boy, that sounds terrible.
Oh, it was terrible.
Neal, you got a tea time coming up. We appreciate you spending time with us on a gorgeous day in Atlanta, Georgia. Appreciate you.
Well, it's raining there. It's gorgeous here, though.
Well, it's always gorgeous there where you are, but we need the rain, so it makes it gorgeous.
Okay, I'll be good.
You too. Neal Boortz, Talkmaster on Xtra 106.3. When we come back, Ron DeSantis saved Florida. Now he may save America too.
Xtra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, April 28th. The Atlanta Braves close out the homestand with a 3-game series beginning tonight with the Detroit Tigers in town. The Braves start the day tied for the best record in all of baseball. It'll be Martin Perez on the mound against Casey Mize. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all of the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and free on the Fan app. From the NBA, Game 5 of the series between the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks gets underway from New York City at 8 o'clock tonight. That series currently tied at 2 games apiece. No matter the outcome, Game 6 will be back in Atlanta on Thursday night. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
In a time when everything feels political, one place must rise above it all. The courtroom, where the law rules and integrity matters. In 2020, Georgians came together, electing a justice who believes in protecting our courts.
I'm Georgia Supreme Court Justice Sarah Warren, and here's what I believe. I believe in the rule of law, the separation of powers, and a judge's limited role to interpret the law as written. I believe in a nonpartisan judiciary, impartial judges who don't advocate for political positions or outcomes. I believe in deciding cases without bias or favor, treating everyone with dignity and respect. As a justice on your Supreme Court, I've upheld these values. With your support, we'll maintain the integrity of our courts.
Vote to re-elect Justice Sarah Warren Vote early starting April 27th or on Election Day, May 19th. Paid for by Georgians for Justice Warren, Inc.
Quick question. Are your tires ready for spring rain? If your tread is worn, traction drops fast on wet roads and stopping distance can increase when you need it most. Right now at Marietta Toyota, they can take care of you because it's the Toyota Tire Savings Event. Buy 3 tires and get the 4th for just $1. Get the right tires for your Toyota, installed by factory-trained technicians with road hazard coverage included on eligible tires. Toyota Tire Price Match is available, plus top brands and additional rebates that may be available. Voted Best of Cobb, Best New Car Dealership, Best Dealership Service Center for 2026. You can trust the work. Offer ends April 30th. We're right where we've always been, Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota since 1975. We've been here and we'll be here for you.
Restrictions apply. Valid on participating brands. 4th tire of equal or lesser value. Offer ends April 30th, 2026. See dealer for details.
It's everyone's favorite time of the year, May in the A. Get ready as the Cubs, Red Sox, and Nationals all come to Truist Park. The month features 5 amazing giveaways, including the Hawaiian shirt, straw cowboy hat presented by Visit Sarasota, and more. And don't miss some great deals like $15 tickets, $3 Miller High Lifes, $2 ice cream sandwiches, and deals at the Clubhouse store during select games. Visit Braves.com/May in the A to find the details. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
It's time for the Boortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
It's really rather difficult to wrap your head around the happenings of the past weekend. Yet another left-wing Democrat attempt on the life of our president. I head over to X on Sunday morning. I head over to X, used to be Twitter, used to have a couple of 100,000 followers there, but no more. I was shocked at what I saw. The trend on this assassination attempt was that it was a hoax. These leftist nutcases said it was all a staged hoax to distract people from the war in Iran or the Epstein files or the proposed new White House ballroom. One guy on X said, "Stop staging fake assassination attempts." Someone else said, "This is backfiring on Trump. Nothing is going to work." People aren't buying it anymore. All of these listed in today's New York Post. Somebody else, "That's why Trump staged the event last night, to get support for his effing ballroom." The New York Post says that the term staged has been trending on both Google Trends and social media with more than 300,000 posts by noon on Sunday. And there's that disgusting leftist hero, Jimmy Kimmel, who, before the event, presented his viewers with a little mock-up of the event, showing a picture of Melania Trump and saying that she looked like an expectant widow. What was he saying? Melania Trump looks like she's just waiting for her husband to be assassinated. Yes, ABC and Disney should fire Jimmy Kimmel. But they're left-wing too, so don't look for that to happen. Now I fear every leftist nutcase out there is going to be looking for a way to actually accomplish what these 3 Democrats have failed to accomplish in the last couple of years. What an age we live in. Neal Boortz, Xtra 106.3.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Jimmy Kimmel, under a lot of scrutiny from the right again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Months after he was suspended from his ABC late night talk show over comments after Charlie Kirk's assassination.
ABC needs to determine, is this the type of person and violent rhetoric that it wants to affiliate with.
Senior advisor to the First Lady, Mark Beckman, on Fox. The morning after Melania Trump called Kimmel corrosive with hateful and violent rhetoric. Upset over a joke last week before the White House Correspondents' Dinner attack, saying she has the glow of an expectant widow. Kimmel responded last night.
It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence.
The accused attacker Saturday night, Cole Allen, will appear in court again Thursday. He's charged with attempting to assassinate the president and 2 other counts, but U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says,
make no mistake, this is just the beginning of this indictment, of these charges. The indictment will include a lot more charges.
The U.S. military stopped another oil tanker, enforcing that blockade on Iran's ports. Iran's demanding that be lifted and nuclear talks be delayed for it to allow open shipping again in the Strait of Hormuz. But Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from Dubai.
While hundreds of ships remain stuck at anchor in the Persian Gulf, the first liquefied natural gas carrier from right here in the UAE did transit the Strait of Hormuz recently. It's the first LNG carrier to transit the Strait of Hormuz since the beginning of the war 2 months ago.
Oil prices are rising this morning, and at the gas pump, another surge overnight. AAA's national average for regular $4.17 a gallon is a new high since the conflict started. And as jet fuel prices surge,
budget airlines are asking the Trump administration for $2.5 billion in government assistance. The Association of Value Airlines, which includes Frontier and Avelo, are calling it, quote, a necessary and targeted measure.
That's Fox's Carly Shimkus. America's listening to Fox News.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea. We were meant to live free. Free to pursue our future and work hard. Free to move. Free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. I tried everything and anything to help me get rid of my pain, and nothing freed me. It just masked the pain, and the side effects diminished my quality of life. I'm sure you have been there if you have real bad pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that is designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. And it is not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor. It was created for people to get back to living their life on their terms. Is that you? Walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter? This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take your stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today. 1995, 3-week quick start. Ready for you right now. Visit relieffactor.com, 800-4 relief.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk. Also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Dude, I love this song. This is such a great choice for a rainy day. Eddie Rabbitt. I love a rainy night. And when I was a kid, though, I thought he said ringy instead of rainy.
For the Rabbit family.
Yeah, right. I thought he said, I love a ringy night. When you're a kid, it doesn't make sense to the lyrics, don't make sense to you anyway when you're just a kid, right? And I bet I sang I love a ringy night until I was like 12. And my dad was like, hey, he's saying rainy, right? I was like, no, I didn't know.
So that scene in Bull Durham when women get woolly,
yeah,
that hits you a certain way.
Yeah,
women get weary, they don't get woolly.
I love it. Are there any songs like that, or like movie, things where you just didn't pick up, and just for whatever reason you hear it differently than what it actually was?
I never knew what the lyric was until maybe 20 years ago. But Aha, Take on Me.
Oh yeah.
I brought up the high point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be gone in a day or two.
Yep, absolutely.
But how few people actually know what that lyric is.
Because they just go, do-do-do-do, as they're singing, right. They try to hit that high note. And they just sing whatever is, because they have no idea.
I'll be gone in a day or two.
In a day or two. But most people just do-do-do-do-do.
Well, because the rest of the song makes sense and you can hear it. That's the part where you're like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that falsetto that man is using there, employing there?
Staying Alive, I thought it was just gibberish. Whenever I was younger, it was the whether you're a brother.
Yeah, I thought whether you're a brother or whether you're a lover, we're just staying alive. Staying alive. Yeah, there's so many of them out there. As a matter of fact, there's one that came up on the Theo Von podcast that's not suitable for air, and it's the huge hit for Ella Langley called Choosing Texas. If you want to know what Theo Von said, because I can't say it here, go and do a quick Google search. And it was funny. Ella Langley said, oh, my God, I wish you hadn't said that. I'm afraid I'm going to sing it like that. I'm afraid I'm going to sing the wrong lyric.
Also with Staying Alive, I thought it was whether you're a lover or whether you're a brother.
What is it? I don't know that I
don't know.
I think it is that.
Is it that?
Yeah, I think so. But I could be wrong.
The one
We'll
that
look
our next door neighbor, Chuck Oliver, and you can check out Chuck and Turnoff show every single weekday on our sister station 2 to 6. He was telling me about Toto Africa, and he's like, nobody knows that one lyric. Nobody. And I go, and I just flat out said it to him. I go, as sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti.
Yeah.
He goes, that's what that is? And I was like, yeah. Now, half an hour later, the man just stopped. Like, we're in the middle of the show, and he just stops. He goes, but Olympus isn't in Africa. Like, what do you mean?
He's all confused.
No, it rises like Olympus.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Above the Serengeti.
Come on, Chuck. What's the problem? I know he's a really smart guy.
It bothered him for months.
Yeah.
Just couldn't let that one go.
Whether you're a brother or
whether you're a mother. Staying alive. So good. There's so many great lyrics. I mean, the most famous one has to be, excuse me while I kiss this guy. You know, the instead of excuse me while I kiss the sky from Jimi Hendrix. You know, so that was one that forever, you know, people would misquote and didn't have any idea.
That's what confuses Ruby.
Yeah. Ruby is on the phone at 404-741-1230. Ruby, what is on your mind?
Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you there?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
right here.
Okay. You know how when you have your ballot and you see all those judges' names, you don't know who's a good one and who isn't because they're supposed to be nonpartisan and non-political. Well, the Democrats found out who the judges were that threw out President Trump's prosecution. You know, they threw out Fani Willis's RICO case versus President Trump. So what they did was they got a slate of judges to run against those judges. So the Democrats are pouring money from all over into the Georgia judicial progressive candidates. So it's unethical for these candidates to say what they are openly, but the Democrats are doing it. So they're trying to get a slate of progressive judges in. And so what you need to do is just vote for all the incumbents because they're the good ones that threw out Fani Willis's RICO case. Even the independents are good. So it's very easy, and I think this should be repeated often because we've got to get the people in the whole state to know about this. So I hope that we can, make a dent in it because if we get bad judges, they're going to let the criminals out. Over my dead body, will they let Atlanta become like those other progressive liberal states, and blue states, and what they're doing, letting criminals out and all of that. We just can't have it. And we can make a difference. We can vote.
Yes,
we can make the primaries. And I wanted to do it while there was early voting before people.
Yeah, it starts today.
While people will know what to do. So I think what'll happen is a lot of people sometimes they see all those names and they're incumbents, and sometimes they just check mark and vote for all the incumbents. So maybe they'll have that going for them. I hope they
right.
do.
I like the way you think, Ruby. But I'm glad you called because it is important to put that out there. Ruby been doing her homework, and that's what it's going to take right there.
Oh, and there's different criteria in different states. Like we have covered this quite a bit on this radio show. There are states in which judges are appointed. There are states when judges are voted on. And so, yes, you might be judging your judge based on legal merit, based on their past rulings, and that's who's going to earn your vote. In so many of these other states, especially when you see some of these local cases and you say, how did that person get out? Well, the judge was appointed. And they might not even have a legal background. So they're there to be an activist.
That's right.
So that's one of the valuable aspects of what we have going on is we actually get to vote on who's going to hold those positions.
So very important, especially with it being early voting starting today. Make sure you get out there and do it. And do your homework like Ruby has. Make sure that you're doing the things that matter, like recruiting everybody on your ball teams, everybody at band practice, the parents that you sit with. I'm telling you, it is so stinking important to get out and be a part of this process. This is the way that we save America. This is the way that we salvage this country.
You want a handful of states that have the appointment process?
I'm afraid to hear, but let me guess. California is one of them. Got to be.
California, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Tell me if you notice a trend.
Wait.
New Jersey, Rhode Island.
Yeah. All very blue states.
Yes.
Because they want it to
it's a Democrat committee.
Yeah, they want to keep it blue.
That then appoints activists to these positions.
Yeah, I love it.
Whereas you get to vote.
That's right. And that's why it's so important. And I hope you'll pay attention. I hope that you'll be involved in that process. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Before we get to the first thing to know this morning, his name is Uzi. Are you serious? Uzi. Oh, God, there's Uzi. I was like, wow. Oh, we got a gangster rapper on the line. No, Uzi, what's on your mind?
Hey, yeah, I'm the only Uzi you'll probably ever know.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, Uzi.
Thanks, but I was also born in Dalton, so there you
Let's
go.
go!
I got that going for me.
Hometown, baby!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My mom was a Hamilton, so there you go.
Just after named after the street in downtown, Hamilton Street, I'm sure.
Yeah. John Hamilton was however many great-grandfather of mine, so there you go. Anyway, no, I was thinking about the songs that you were talking. I know I'm a little bit older than you guys are, but the song that came up to my mind was Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, wrapped up like a deuce or a douche.
Or like a douche, yeah.
To this day, I'm like, what is that?
Right. And I've read it correctly a bunch of times, Ozzy, and I still can't get it right. So you're exactly right, but I do love that
Outstanding
song.
call, Ozzy.
So good, man. We appreciate you. 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT-CentralHeat.com. The first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, the Morning Xtra. Tug Los,
come on,
the story, breaking news that's bold.
I told you, and I do love when I get to say, I told you so. I told you last week, what was going on in Virginia was done in response to Texas in anticipation of what's going to happen in Florida. And now, as of yesterday, the Virginia Supreme Court has taken up this case to determine whether or not that the vote, in fact, the vote ends up being non-consequential. It's whether or not the state of Virginia can amend their constitution in the way that they did, which was considered unconstitutional by one end, and the rights of the government by the other. That's what the AG is basically trying to point out. Well, the reason why it's so important with what's going on there is what happened in Florida yesterday. We talked about a special session that was going to happen in Florida, and we were going to have a proposal for a new map. What does that map do? Well, right now you have 28 seats in Congress in Florida, 20 of them represented by Republicans, 8 represented by Democrats. This new map would move it to 24 and 4. Now, that is when I told you, don't worry, watch what DeSantis in Florida was going to do. And this is largely because of what Democrats did. You might be saying, what do you mean, Los? What are you talking about? The reason why Florida changed so much was because of COVID. And the COVID tyranny we saw in so many blue states turned Florida, which what is it? Free Florida?
Yep.
The free state of Florida.
Yep.
It turned it into one of the reddest states in the entirety of the nation.
I think it's number one. I don't think you can argue it's number one.
To the point where 4 of those seats that are currently held by Democrats are actually in districts that during the 2024 election cycle went plus 10 for Donald Trump. This actually makes the map more representative of what is going on there. And so good luck to the Democrats as they try and fight this one off. But Florida is actually doing it according to their legal process. Now, you can make the argument that their people are not voting on it, but that's not the way the Florida Constitution works.
That's right. And Ron DeSantis has followed it to a T, being a lawyer himself, understanding the legal process, and didn't have to rush. The people in Virginia was like, oh, my God, we got to get it done.
We got to get this done. Oh, my God.
And jumped the process, jumped the line, violated the Voting Rights Act because that's what is being challenged there in Virginia. And it's my understanding that the Virginia Supreme Court, when they heard the first arguments, were not very moved. There weren't a lot of questions being asked, which means we kind of see the writing on the wall.
They have 7 judges that sit on that court in Virginia. Only 3 of them were asking questions.
That's right. So the rest of them are like, we already know what this is.
Kind of listening to what is going on. Now, back to Florida, and here's the fun part about Florida. So you've had the liberals, the Democrats, that have been very excited about, well, look at this map. This might be a bigger opportunity for us. And what they did is they went back to the 2018 election cycle to say, look how the voting went. Like this, we would get more seats out of this if it mimics 2018. Are you ignoring COVID?
Yes, it must be. We can't because we still have our COVID protocol sign in the studio.
They are completely ignoring what has happened in that state over the last decade, where even a place like Miami-Dade County went red.
When you're seeing people that typically don't vote Republican all of a sudden start voting Republican because they're tired of what they've seen, you have what takes place in Florida. Look, I would love for it to happen in Georgia. I would love for it. And the last time I asked for Georgia to be a part of this, more a part of the election scene, I remember in 2020, I was like, why is Georgia not at all involved in this? And I got what I asked for. And so now I'm reluctant to ask for anything because I don't want it to happen again and it backfire.
No, that was a problem when you did that.
Oh, it was terrible. It's my fault and I take full responsibility.
But this is also because we had so much growth from 2000 to 2020 in there. Georgia demographically changed. But again, Georgia's also had Democrat governors, had Democrat senators.
Well, it's been a while, though.
Yes, but it's not completely foreign. What's happening in Florida, you had Democrat governors, Democrat senators. It was probably one of, as far as the South, the most perfect representation of purple in the South.
It was a toss-up in 2000.
And because of what occurred from 2020 moving forward, that ended. That was completely done. You had so many people that said, I'm getting out of these places, whether it's because of taxation or COVID tyranny, and I'm moving to the free state of Florida.
Do you feel like that people move because of that? Or is it just taxes? And the reason I ask that, because you know how fearful I am. I am a battered Southerner. When I see those out-of-state tags and I'm like, oh, my heavens, they're coming here to ruin my home state. So when you present it that way, it sounds like when people move, they genuinely don't bring their voting record with them. And my fear is maybe in Florida, but I have not seen that yet in Georgia.
I think it was so strange that it sticks out in my mind when we had the shutdown of everything that was going on in March of 2020. And my wife and I decided, well, can't go to the office, can't send the kids to school. I guess we'll be doing some digital learning. Let's go down to the beach house. And when we got to Florida, it was as if the rest of the world had gone insane and Florida just decided we're going to still be Florida. And it was normal.
We're not participating.
And for anyone who was there during that time period, it stuck out at you that as a community, they largely said what I kept saying. The only way to get through this is to just go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a bunch of people are going to sick.
You're going to have to shoulder it.
You just got to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And there was almost a mentality of this is where the people that really believe in freedom are at. And I think that was intoxicating. I know it was for me.
Yeah, it had to be great because
I loved it.
And you can imagine, because when that was happening, you and I have discussed it 1,000 times. My son's a freshman in high school. He's about to get his first start on his varsity squad, and it's going to be the greatest thing. And by the end of that game, when he got that message, they say the season's over. It's just done and over with. So we shifted over to travel ball. And for the most part, Georgia was kind of 50-50, right? Or at least in my experience through COVID, there were some people in panic mode, and everybody else, kind of like me, were like, what in the world are we doing? But people coming south, they literally would take different cars to not appear like they were going as a ball team to Georgia to play. And we would get there to the ball field, and there'd be people from Michigan and Massachusetts, whatever, Boston area. And they're like, we can't believe what it's like here in Georgia.
Where it's free.
Y'all are playing summer baseball. We had to take separate cars because they were tracking how many people were coming in and out of state. And the reason I bring that up is, can you imagine they saw that here in Georgia and it was amazing, what it would have been like had they gone a little further south and it been completely normal.
Now, I want to point this out, and I know it's extremely anecdotal because we do have a number of families that we know, and does it make up all of them? No, of course not. But the people that did lose their homes in the wildfires that we had in California, in the Pacific Palisades, and throughout the region, some of them who went to go visit family in Florida stayed once they looked at the cost of rebuilding and looked at like how much more can my money get here? And wait a minute, so I can build without this crazy regulation? Suddenly they had that same intoxication of freedom.
Freedom is intoxicating, and freedom is so inviting because you want to be a part of it. Like, I just want to live my life and be left alone.
And so good for Ron DeSantis to basically telling the Democrats, F your couch. That's what he's basically. Oh, really? You pulled all these games in Virginia? Well, F your couch.
We're going to fix your little red wagon.
We're going to do it this way.
We're going to cancel out everything that you would have got. Too bad it's not likely that you'll get to keep what you thought you had, and we're going to counter it anyway.
And remember, we still have a Supreme Court ruling that should be coming down that might make all of the racial gerrymandering in so many of these blue communities illegal.
Bad news for the Democrats. Sound like pretty good news. Sound like pretty good news for the Republicans. When we continue on Extra 106.3, since we started on COVID and then maybe 2020 election stuff, Los always pointed out the statistical anomalies. Los, I have stumbled upon another one that I want to present to you, and you listening to next on Extra 106.3.
The Morning Extra, Neal Boortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Hey, this is Los with David from Atlanta, who just purchased his new car with the Honest Car Guy. The new, fully transparent way to buy your next vehicle. David, tell us about your experience.
I had been looking for a vehicle for a couple months. The car buying process was a little challenging at first for me. I had some credit issues in the past, and I just happened to hear a familiar voice on the radio, and it happened to be on the Honest Car Guy ad. I got in touch with Tom. Within 2, maybe 3 days, I had a vehicle being shipped here from Orlando, Florida. I have already recommended him to family members, several friends, and I'll purchase a car from Tom when I make my next purchase for sure.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Too many motorists and workers are senselessly injured or killed in roadway work zones. Crashes and fatalities have spiked in Georgia due to speeding and distracted or impaired driving. The Georgia DOT is reminding you during Work Zone Safety Awareness Week of the importance of practicing safe driving. Ignore your phone and other distractions and pay attention to the road. Work zones are a sign to slow down. Let's all get where we're going safely. Sponsored by the Georgia DOT.
Bullet points.
I'm Eben Brown. The nation's most storied gun rights organization wants to arm more Jews. The National Rifle Association is partnering with a nationwide group of Jewish gun owners and educators to help inform and train Jewish Americans about gun rights and proper use of firearms in cases of self-defense. The number of violent attacks against Jews and Jewish institutions has been on the rise, including the recent attacks at synagogues from West Bloomfield, Michigan to Jackson, Mississippi, and 2 Israeli embassy staffers living in D.C. and engaged to be married. They were gunned down outside a reception at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Outside the U.S. and Australia, gunmen killed 15 at a Hanukkah party on Bondi Beach. The group working with the NRA is aptly named Locks and Loaded. Locks for the cold smoked salmon associated with American Jewish cuisine. The group has 40 chapters in 21 states, serving more than 1,000 members. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Securing America.
The Navy's newest attack submarine, the USS Idaho, was commissioned in Connecticut this past Saturday. Lieutenant Commander John Whitaker is the ship's executive officer.
Capable of operating in the far corners of the world's oceans undetected and well connected to air, sea, and land-based forces, these submarines are equipped to wage multidimensional warfare around the globe.
The new Secretary of the Navy, Hung Cao, also spoke for the first time in his new role.
This is 8,000 tons of pure American might.
Idaho Governor Brad Little hoped the vessel will reflect its namesake.
In Idaho, hard work isn't just expected, it's a way of life.
He continued.
you will carry that spirit of Idaho.
The Idaho will now join the operational fleet. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. A congressman is missing. No one has seen Republican New Jersey Representative Tom Kean Jr. since early March, and he's up for re-election in one of the Garden State's most competitive districts in November. So call it Jersey unsure. Kean has missed more than 50 votes, and top GOP leaders are in the dark. Fox contacted multiple members of the House GOP leadership, and none had any idea about Kean's whereabouts. In fact, one member of the Republican brass told Fox that Kean's absence, quote, didn't worry them until you called. The Capitol buzzed recently with word that an unnamed congressman had died. A Republican leader conceded that they thought it might be Kean. They later learned that Democratic Georgia Representative David Scott passed away. Kean's attorney, William Palatucci, says the congressman is absent due to, quote, unexpected health issues. The Cook Political Report calls Kean's district a, quote, toss-up. Republicans need to hold that seat to keep control of the House this fall. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, April 28th, and here are your headlines. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is defending a controversial joke about Donald Trump and Melania Trump, saying it was about their age difference and not a call to violence. Backlash comes after the joke resurfaced following the shootings here at the White House Correspondents' Center. Trumps are calling for his firing, but Kimmel says he regrets the timing, but stands by the joke. Georgia is now under a level 1 drought response as nearly 98% of the state faces severe conditions. Officials say water systems must promote conservation, though no major restrictions are in place yet. With rainfall deficits growing, some local governments are starting to limit outdoor watering. And finally, wildlife officials say snakes are becoming more active across metro Atlanta as temperatures begin to rise. Most are harmless, but residents are urged to avoid them and keep yards maintained to reduce encounters. Experts say copperheads are the most common venomous species. Any bites should be treated immediately. Today's weather is partly cloudy with early showers and a high of 72 and a low of 62. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Some things stand out as statistical anomalies. Los has gone through them because he's the numbers guy. He's gone through them so many times on the show. Specifically, the one that stands out, the one that jumps off the page, is the 2020 election, where 80 million voters just gone.
How about most recently in Virginia, where 65,000 mail-in votes all had the same answer to it?
Yeah.
In a 50-50 state.
Right. Seems odd that things like this would happen.
Strange.
These statistical anomalies. So I was just reading along, and I ran across this, and I wanted to share it with you. Another statistical anomaly, like presidents being targeted. And you look at, if you go through the most recent, all the way back to Reagan, there was an attempt on Reagan's life. Say there was an attempt on Bush Sr.'s life. Plans, you heard of plots and plans against Clinton, but no actual, assassination attempts.
May I ask this question before you jump into your well-researched data? Since we do know, because it's been documented, we have the information that the Iranians tried 2 times, had plots to kill Donald Trump. Do we even count those?
But see, that's the thing. Because we know 3, right? That actually there was guns
on site.
And then 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, there was the one down in Florida with the dude with the shotgun in the gasket. Do you count that? So it depends on how you want to look at it.
Sure.
But if you do count those, the numbers go up even higher. The statistical anomaly goes up even higher.
I just want to delineate the two, because that's what the left is countering with. Well, Barack Obama had 11. It's like, I think your version is different than mine.
Absolutely right. But that's the thing. Do you remember anybody going to the White House to kill President Obama?
Yes, while he wasn't there, the person who shot at the White House.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That I would count, even though he wasn't there, but I would still say, okay, that was at least way to have violence directed your way that if you were there could potentially have ended in a poor way.
Biden, do you remember anything? I don't remember anybody trying to knock off Biden. I don't remember a discussion.
There was no reason to.
No, exactly.
The communists were told to stand down.
That's right. The puppet masters weren't. They're having a dance back and forth.
The Democrats were having to tell Antifa, "Can you please take it down a notch? Like, stop." It's like, well, they're the street animals.
And then you get to Trump, and there's at least 3 that are People have been arrested, people with long guns, people that were there on premise, on site. 2 of them shot. 1 of them had a gun pointed before the Secret Service before the Secret Service, the Secret Service saw him before he was able to, to fire off a shot or anything. They see the long gun, the barrel poking out of the hedges and things. So that's the statistical anomaly that jumps off the page to me. How many or how few it was for the past 40 or so years, and now all of a sudden, and if you bring in the one from 2 weeks ago, if you bring in the Iranians, if you bring in all that, because the Iranians had said, yes, we want to kill him. And then there were people in the United States that said, we're here from Iran to kill him.
2 different plots.
Yes, that's right. So if you count those, it's not even close. That's the statistical anomaly. How many people are actually trying to kill the current president? And no other president's faced that level, that number before. It's crazy. It reminds you of something like the 2020 election or whatever other statistical anomalies, the mail-in ballots, that none of them went for the Republican. All of them. What was the number? 64,000?
65,000. 65,000
all of
mail-in
them?
votes. So
Get
all
out of
went
here,
for-
dude.
Yes.
Can you see the pattern? Can you see what's happening inside your country?
What I am going to point out is that we have never had an uprising. Now, and I want to draw a very distinct line here. Traditional liberalism has always looked at free speech, Bill of Rights being the most important, and largely what they have looked at themselves as the academics. We're smarter than the conservatives. We're smarter than the Republicans. This is how we'll be. And to that end, you also had blue dog Democrats that said, socially, I'm a Democrat. When it came to physical, they were a lot more conservative. And that was what the Democrat Party was largely made out of. What has now happened is the traditional liberal no longer has a place within that party, as things have pushed so far into communism, so far to the left, that now the violence has picked up to a different level. It's not like Democrats haven't had power before. What I would ask is, as you point out, here's an anomaly number, here's the jump. Have you ever seen communists pick up this sort of steam in the country before?
No.
Because the communists, doesn't matter where it's ever been done, whether it's Cuba, whether it's Russia, whether it's China, it's always violent. As a political movement, communism has killed 50 million people.
And what are you seeing in the left? Every poll that has been done in the last, 5 years at least, all shows the violence going to the left over and over again. And it's because of exactly what Los is bringing up, because they've been infiltrated by the communists. And that started in 2012, and now it seems has fully enveloped the party. And I want to go back to something you said about the academics, right? I'm not a well-educated guy. I dropped out of college three times. I'm not a dummy, but I'm not ever the smartest guy in the room, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But I do believe there is a difference, and I'm not referring to myself, but I am referring to people that I grew up around, parents, grandparents. They were none well-educated, but they were fair wise. Life experience, just hard times, living through hard times, adapting, overcoming, doing things that maybe others wouldn't do to make sure that they were able to make ends meet. I will take wisdom over education every day of the week. I don't believe that education makes you better. Does it improve your life in many ways? Sure. I'm not saying you shouldn't be educated. I'm not saying that. Please don't misunderstand me. But the people that downplay the value of wisdom and life experience are fools.
I think it's important to point out here as well, if we're talking about education, and again, academia and the academic.
And I got a son in college, man. I support higher education.
And how they look at things. What has changed within the last generation, perhaps the last 2 generations, is it's no longer simply education. It's now indoctrination.
That's exactly right. Yes.
And that is where...
Such a great point.
In order to be, like for instance, I'm master's educated. At no point was I not raising my hand going, yeah, that sounds like communism.
That's right.
I
hear the dog whistle.
I remember working on a project with a guy who was actually, for the previous semester, was deployed at sea. And so he was using his time to, hey, I'm knocking out these courses. And I was like, okay, this guy's in the U.S. Navy. Do you think he wanted to hear about the rise of China?
Hell no, he didn't. I guarantee you, if
the rise of India, he was like looking at me, and I'm looking at him. We're like, this
is awful. This is awful. This is terrible. I don't want to hear this. And I want to learn what they're doing, but there's a difference in learning about what they're doing and being told how to think about what they're doing.
And so I think that is a big difference.
That goes back to wisdom and education too.
Absolutely. That if you can get education while still holding on to wisdom, I think that's always your goal. That's what you have your son doing. That's what I hope my daughters end up doing. And that's what I'll be pushing for and fighting for and asking and talking to them about what they're learning. I think a lot of times when we send these young people off to school, we don't realize the level of indoctrination that then by the time that they're back, when they start saying some of the stuff that they do, and what did we go through? You had the numbers yesterday. People under 44.
It was like 44%, I believe, of people under 44 that believe it's okay to celebrate, be happy when your political opponent is injured or killed.
Which is an insane number.
That's off the charts, dude. It's outlandish.
I mean, the 4 years of Joe Biden, not one time did we ever say anything other than, I wish that they would let that man rest. Put a blanket on his legs, give him some ice cream, let him enjoy his golden years. And all we kept saying was, wow, what an awful person Jill Biden is for doing this to him.
For dragging him through that.
Never one time did I say, oh, I wish the assassin had been a better shot.
Yeah. Or I wish Jill would hold his head under the water, or something crazy
that
like that.
Never came out of the show.
Can you imagine having that feeling, genuinely feeling it?
And the weird part about it, Tug, there are people that are even in this listening audience who just heard you say that and thought, if only Trump would drown tomorrow.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. It's sad. It's the sad state of affairs, man. It's a sad place for our country to be.
It's been justified in their mind.
Absolutely, it has. And Ro Khanna and people like that will go on TV every night. And I understand that people on both sides of the political aisle fight, right? Remember when that happened and the left went crazy? Well, he's trying to prompt war. He's trying to prompt that's the dog whistle for his right wing, his white supremacists. Yet, who's paying for that and trying to foster that so they can benefit from it and profit off of it? Where's the political violence actually coming from when you hear Speaker Jeffries talk about warfare? It's coming from the left. It's not the right. And every poll shows you that. It's over and over and over again. They're comfortable with it, to your point.
Selena Zito has a book. You can find it on Amazon. And it's Butler, The Untold Story of the Assassination. She was one of the people that was there in the first couple of rows. And she's had time to interview Donald Trump about this. And one of the big points of the book, and I know she's done some interviews, and probably this has kind of gotten out there to a few different people, but when asked about why did he get up and do what he did, he talked about what the presidency is supposed to be like. Like, why did he want his shoes? Why did he not want to be carried out of there by Secret Service? He's like, because the president stands on his own 2 feet.
He's the most powerful person in the world, and he must be that.
And he's leaving the way he wants to leave. Why did he not leave the Correspondents' Center? Why was he standing over there waiting? Because the president doesn't just skedaddle out of there.
These colors don't run. I remember having a T-shirt like that when I was a kid. And American flag, these colors don't run.
And so it's about the mentality of the position.
I agree.
Whereas the other side looks at it completely differently. I mean, they handed us Joe Biden.
And told you to deal with it.
And poor Joe, who was just...
They told you to deal with it.
I mean, the guy couldn't function.
Yeah.
It was bad. From the minute he fell off the bike... The president is not supposed to fall off a bicycle in front of everyone. They're not supposed to send him up the short steps of Air Force One because he can't climb the long steps. They're not supposed to change his shoes and have staff walk around him because they're worried about him falling down. But that's what they were doing.
And they told you he was just fine. Every night on the news. Every night on the news. They would tell you everything is just fine. Your eyes are deceiving you. It's you. You're the problem. Joe's not a problem. You're the problem. It's you.
You don't understand. I mean, you haven't talked to him in months.
When we come back on Xtra 106.3, I want to get to Liz. She wants to know where the data comes from. Liz wants to know where the data comes from saying that the Democrat Party is communist. She wants to know about that. We'll talk about that. And maybe, if we have time, get into World War XI. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, April 28th. The Atlanta Braves close out the homestand with a 3-game series beginning tonight with the Detroit Tigers in town. The Braves start the day tied for the best record in all of baseball. It'll be Martin Perez on the mound against Casey Mize. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all of the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and free on the Fan app. From the NBA, Game 5 of the series between the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks gets underway from New York City at 8 o'clock tonight. That series currently tied at 2 games apiece. No matter the outcome, Game 6 will be back in Atlanta on Thursday night. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Jaron Solomon here, and if you want to absolutely win Mother's Day, listen up. Now through May 10th, when you make a purchase at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, you can receive a free Big Green Egg grill with qualifying purchase. And this year, for all of you out there who have taken us up on this offer before, you also have the option of a brand new Traeger. You give mom something timeless, and you get the grill everybody wants. Visit Solomon Brothers Jewelers or book your appointment at solomonbrothers.com.
It's everyone's favorite time of the year, May in the A. The Braves have 3 exciting matchups during the month, including the Cubs, Red Sox, and Nationals. Don't miss a moment at Truist Park, including some unbeatable deals during select games, like $15 tickets, $10 parking, $3 Miller High Lifes, $2 ice cream sandwiches, and daily deals at the Atlanta Braves Clubhouse store. And along with the great deals comes great fun. Fans can look forward to 5 must-have gate giveaways like the Hawaiian shirt, straw cowboy hat presented by Visit Sarasota, and more. Plus, don't forget to arrive early on select games to participate in pregame parades and player high fives, block parties in the Battery Atlanta, kids club activities in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park, and so much more. Visit Braves.com/May to check out the details and purchase your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Truck month is here, and nobody does it better than Jim Ellis Chevrolet. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your truck, this is it.
Right now, Jim Ellis Chevy is stacking the savings, helping you save nearly $12,000 off MSRP on a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST.
We're talking dealer discounts, supplier pricing, customer cash, and bonus cash, all combined to deliver serious savings.
And if you qualify for additional offers like Costco incentives, you could drive your new Silverado home for even less.
Take Silverado stock number T16116. Its MSRP is $68,420. After Jim Ellis, a manufacturer discount, sale price is only now just $56,564. Just add TABT and state fee.
Anybody can advertise a sale. No one does truck month like Jim Ellis Chevrolet.
Shop a huge selection of Silverados ready to go. Enjoy transparent pricing and a buying process that's just fast, easy, and built around you. Shop online at JimEllisChevrolet.com or visit Jim Ellis Chevy on Peachtree Industrial just inside the perimeter. Jim Ellis Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
Your drive home has never been better. The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. And here's what you missed.
A cohort of Senate Republicans joined the Democrats to sink the overnight attempt to attach a version of voter ID and citizenship verification to the GOP bill funding federal immigration enforcement. Here are the names. We all know these names. Senator Tom Tillis, North Carolina. Tom Tillis voted no, along with the Democrats. Lisa Murkowski, freaking Alaska. Susan Collins from Maine. Sounds like she really should be retiring. She voted no. Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, I'll be damned. Yeah, voted against the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Save Act. How about thinking about your country? If the Republicans lose control of the House, you know what's going to happen? And, of course, they're never going to pass it unless they lose control of the Senate, and then we're doomed. We're literally doomed. And for the good of his own, he says, well, we don't like to, raise things that we don't think are really right. And in the end, how about what's right for your country? We're trying to save the freaking nation. Look what happened the last 4 years, what they did to us. I honestly, I can't believe it. Yeah, the Republicans have lost sight of the freaking battle. There's a goal here.
Their goal is to keep their generational wealth for their families. That's what the McConnells and the Thunes and all those, that's all they care about is their own
stuff. I don't get Mitch McConnell and his contact with the Chinese, for God's sakes. Something really is fishy with that guy.
83% of the American public on both sides want voter ID. They are openly thwarting the will of the American people and need to be removed from office.
Yeah, you're right. Who doesn't want an ID to cast your vote?
The Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder are only on Extra 106.3 FM and listen anytime on the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230. We have caller Liz on the show. And yes. Liz, we welcome you to the show, and we understand that you probably feel a little bit differently than us, and we're just fine with that. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, Liz.
Hey, I'm a first-time listener. I ain't gonna lie, I was flipping through. I'm stuck in Atlanta traffic, as we all are know and love, I guess, in our city.
Oh, that rain slows everything down too, Liz, so just be careful out there.
Yeah. I'm going a whopping 25, so actually it's pretty good
Bless
right
you.
now. No, I just, some of your talking points, I'm sure if I switched over to very left talking radio, I perhaps would hear it on the flip side. I just was curious as kind of like where you were getting your data points from. Reference, I think you said all of the, and correct me, of course, but all of the political violence over the last decades or something was all on the left. I'm like, what's that based off of? That's not what my recollection is, so...
It's a solid question, Liz, and thank you for the call. And I want you to check this thing out. First off, I know that we were having the discussion when it came to, first off, communism and what has been growing on the Democrat side of the aisle. Now, if we can all acknowledge, and I hope that this doesn't come across as any kind of shock over the history, communists have traditionally been some of the most dangerous people in terms of political violence. Now, not saying that hey, every single communism is capable of, but as a movement, it has been the most detrimental movement to mankind in the history of political movements. The amount of people that have been killed by communism and communist policies, it's not even close. Not even close. And so when we start talking about the rise in violence, I'm linking it to the rise in socialism/communism. Now, first off, I brought up there's a 2018 Gallup poll that ties in the youth view of communism and how it has been slowly rising within the young people. Tug had brought up the under 44 crowd, how many of them believe that political violence, whether you're hurting or killing someone, is warranted. But I also want to bring up, and this was a poll that I had to go back and look at all of my notes. This was a Kettering Foundation/Gallup poll from July, August of 2025. And it only focused on Democrats. It only talked about Democrats' views, how they looked at social media, how they looked at politics, how they looked at different forms of government. And of all people that brought it up, it was Bill Maher that week. I was like, oh my God, Bill Maher and I are looking at the exact same poll. And I want you to take a listen to this. Remember, I'm saying the more communist you are, the more violence becomes prevalent. This is Bill Maher talking about that exact same poll.
It seems to me that there are two pillars that this country is founded on. One is democracy, and one is capitalism, free markets. And it seems like one party wants to get rid of one, and the other party wants to get rid of the other, right? The Republicans are not that, democracy is just not number one on their list. It just isn't. It isn't. It's behind Christianity and a few other things. And the Democrats, I mean, I read these 74%, are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this? If Mondami is the face of the Democrats...
That was his point. We were on the same polling where democratic socialism, it's just communism. It's all it is. It's just
repackaged in a nice name.
Repackaged.
That's right.
You had 74% of Democrats who looked at that favorably versus 16% on capitalism. And that shocked Bill Maher, which I was looking at it going, really, it's getting to that much?
That's alarming.
That's pretty now. And of course he says, well, the Republicans aren't for democracy. Well, none of us are for democracy.
Right.
It's a representative republic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not into mob rule.
That's right.
So let me bring back Liz. Liz, thank you for getting a chance to listen to that. That's where that particular way of thinking, it's not a talking point, it's an observation based on the data that we're seeing.
I'm still shaking my head because you said, if I can recall, and I tried to speak up, but I think I was silenced or asked a question in there, that democratic communists, and then I only heard socialist and democracy and how the pecking order of certain things and capitalism. Now, I'm going to go right back to the ad I heard on your this program right before you all brought me back on and we had this conversation. When I heard whoever the other guys were, I think it was just an ad talking about the SAVE Act and how it's a battleground. It's a battle, and we need to beat these guys and take our country back. And so that's your show and your ads. I guess my argument then is I'm not going to say there's not vigilantes on both sides, but broad brushes that one side is a communist and they want to destroy the other. I think that's where we are, how we are, where there's political manifestos shooting at people at a dinner, which is just wrong, whoever you are.
No, we agree with you there, but I've just not seen any political manifestos on the other side. I don't see that. Where do you see it? I mean, we were told that Charlottesville was this incredible, hate-filled place, and then we learned that the Southern Poverty Law Center paid for it all to be able to fundraise off of it. So none of the things that they say, give me a second. None of the things
he ran his car into the demonstrators and killed people.
Okay, now that's the fun part, Liz. The fun part is, no, Liz, and I thank you for the call, Liz. If you're just going to yell, then that's fine. You can go back through that information. That person wasn't a white supremacist. That person was a person that panicked over suddenly being surrounded. And yeah, they killed somebody from running their car into them. But at no point were they part of some sort of, white power conspiracy. That's how that got spun. That's what that got turned into.
I don't think that's what their social media and all the indicators were. And that's one, I don't want to take this conversation into one thing, but I just feel like your broad brush with the data points of Bill Maher.
But then, Liz, let's go back to the broad brush of Joe Biden when Joe Biden said the biggest threat in the United States of America is a white Christian male conservative veteran. That's not a broad brush. That's pretty specific.
I don't recall him saying that. I can't imagine him saying that, but that's...
Of course.
It was the MAGA Republicans, and then what that turned into was the FBI targeting Catholics as well as white veterans.
And that
you feel that the Democrats and a president that was in our party, your party has a racist president and a pedophile.
So there we go. You want to talk about talking points?
I was just waiting to get to the racism part.
We finally got to the talking points.
Okay, there we go.
Got it.
Just have to chip away a little bit at it.
It doesn't take very long. And that's exactly what Ro Khanna, that's exactly what the leftist media always said. That's what the most recent shooter, that was the views that he was espousing on social media. That was what was in his manifesto, those same talking points. I'm glad Liz called. I'm
glad. I love the discussion point. But it is fun. And Liz, this is not to disparage you. But when me and Bill Maher are seeing the exact same thing and talking about it in the exact same way, he's talking about it being detrimental to the Democrat Party. I'm talking about it being detrimental to the country. And yet you immediately blow both of us off.
Yeah.
And to say, well, that's Bill Maher's talking point. Bill Maher is the one busy saying, Democrats, You got to wise up here if you want to win nationally. And I think it's better for the country if the Democrats would at least center a little bit. I'm not asking you to let go of there's only 1,000 sexes, or to suddenly be a person who says, hey, abortion is murder. I'm not asking for that. What I'm asking for is, when you have people that are traditional liberals that are espousing traditional liberalism, how do they not have a place in your party any longer?
And they don't. Bill Maher talks about it. He says, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. He's said that many times.
That is a man that got run off of ABC during Politically Incorrect. I mean, that was the show that pushed the boundaries. And I'm just saying that there are times when I look at stuff that Bill Maher says, I'm like, couldn't disagree more. At the same time, Bill Maher and I are both asking, how does John Fetterman not have a place in your party?
Because he is pro-Israel. They despise that. The media despise it. The DNC despises it. And that's why they're going to primary the man when it comes to the midterm. They're already calling for him to be primaried. It's unreal. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Liz, you're welcome on the show anytime. Even though we
be
disagree.
Safe out there.
Absolutely, be safe driving. We see things differently, but we have nothing but respect for you and welcome you on the show anytime. When we come back, a woman critical of Trump typically finally gives him credit. More credit's due. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Time for the Boortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
It's really rather difficult to wrap your head around the happenings of the past weekend. Yet another left-wing Democrat attempt on the life of our president. I head over to X on Sunday morning. I head over to X, used to be Twitter, used to have a couple of 100,000 followers there, but no more. I was shocked at what I saw. The trend on this assassination attempt was that it was a hoax. These leftist nutcases said it was all a staged hoax to distract people from the war in Iran or the Epstein files or the proposed new White House ballroom. One guy on X said, "Stop staging fake assassination attempts." Someone else said, "This is backfiring on Trump. Nothing is going to work." People aren't buying it anymore. All of these listed in today's New York Post. Somebody else, "That's why Trump staged the event last night, to get support for his effing ballroom." The New York Post says that the term staged has been trending on both Google Trends and social media with more than 300,000 posts by noon on Sunday. And there's that disgusting leftist hero, Jimmy Kimmel, who, before the event, presented his viewers with a little mock-up of the event, showing a picture of Melania Trump and saying that she looked like an expectant widow. What was he saying? Melania Trump looks like she's just waiting for her husband to be assassinated. Yes, ABC and Disney should fire Jimmy Kimmel. But they're left-wing too, so don't look for that to happen. Now I fear every leftist nutcase out there is going to be looking for a way to actually accomplish what these three Democrats have failed to accomplish in the last couple of years. What an age we live in. Neal Boortz, Xtra 106.3.
Go vote accordingly. You don't have to bring up one letter, not an R or D. What do you want your community to look like? Get involved in your community. Because if you don't, you're seeing what we're going to inherit. And I say we loosely. It's actually our kids and grandkids, and that should be the scariest part, that they are going to inherit this level of violence in the United States of America. If you lose America, where are you going?
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3. Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neal Boortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
Jimmy Kimmel defends himself. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, over a joke he made days before the White House correspondents' dinner attack.
It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination.
Kimmel on his ABC show late last night explained last week's joke that First Lady Melania Trump has the expectant glow of an expectant widow. In a post on X, she called that violent and hateful.
I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it.
Senior advisor to the First Lady, Mark Beckman, told Fox this morning,
Jimmy Kimmel should be terminated from ABC.
Kimmel was suspended briefly last year over comments related to Charlie Kirk's assassination, and as Republicans call for toning down anti-Trump rhetoric, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna just told Fox
that political violence is out of hand, that it is affecting people in both parties, that both parties have a responsibility to address it. There should be a national commission, and we can look at concrete things. One, the role that social media is playing.
The suspected attacker Saturday night, Cole Allen, facing 3 charges so far, including attempting to assassinate the president.
The judge ordered him to remain in custody, and a detention hearing was scheduled for Thursday. Federal authorities say he took a train from California to Chicago, then on to Washington, and checked himself into the Washington Hilton ahead of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He is believed to have sent his family a letter moments before the shooting in which he expressed deep anger at the Trump administration without mentioning the president by name.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The U.S. military stopped another Iranian oil tanker.
What President Trump has done is block Iranian ports. They're no longer able to export crude oil. They are running out of storage. They're running out of the ability to continue their program, and it is hurting their economy each and every day.
Fox's Trey Yingst. This is also having oil prices rise and another 6-cent surge today at the gas pump. America's listening to Fox News.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea. We were meant to live free. Free to pursue our future and work hard. Free to move. Free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. I tried everything and anything to help me get rid of my pain, and nothing freed me. It just masked the pain, and the side effects diminished my quality of life. I'm sure you have been there if you have real bad pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that is designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. And it is not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor. It was created for people to get back to living their life on their terms. Is that you? Walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter? This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take your stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today. 1995, 3-week quick start. Ready for you right now. Visit relieffactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF.
I wake up every morning with the Morning Extra.
Tug and Los on a rainy Tuesday. It's been a great day, though. A lot of interaction, a lot of calls, and we appreciate it. 404-741-1230. Going to get to Megan and Marty coming up in just a couple minutes. They wanted to respond to what Liz had to say earlier, wondering where we got our information from, where our data points were when it when we described the
talking points, not data points. I was like, I don't have. I'm not on the John Podesta list of here's what you're supposed to be saying today,
which we know got emailed out
right to the media.
And that's what they ran the talking
points.
That's
why Julian Assange is such a bad guy in their way. They're like we got to kill that guy.
He's got to be done. We cannot have this. Goodness. But anyway, Liz, always welcome on the show. And if you disagree, you're always welcome on the show. We've had Liberal John, who's been a caller for several years now. And that's the thing. We welcome it. We want it. And
John's going to get territorial here.
I know, because John was the only lib for a while.
Don't jump in on my territory.
He already got mad at Liberal Don, who tried to use Liberal Don, which rhymes. And John was like, no, I'm the original.
I tried to steal his smoke.
John actually sent me a message, and he's like, call him Democrat Don. Do the alliteration.
That's good.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That's good.
I thought so, too. Liberal John, A-plus guy in my book. We don't agree, and it's fine. There's it's okay that we don't all agree on everything.
So while we're running for mornings,
yes,
can we have a most Democrat competition?
Yeah, right, absolutely, maybe so. The most Democrat or left listener that we have, like vote for our
you
favorite.
You can be in our
listener.
cabinet.
That's right, absolutely.
It's fine.
We're not afraid.
We want divergent views here.
That's exactly right. So Liz called in, and Megan, we'll go to Megan first at 404-741-1230. Megan had a response. Oh, no, we lost her.
Oh, no.
All right, well, then up next is Marty. Marty at 404-741-1230. Marty, what's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. Just want to first say that I really appreciate you guys bringing in the other side, Liberal John, Liz, and everybody else.
Sure.
Even yesterday when the caller came in, I get kind of insulted when people talk about echo chambers and things like that. Yeah, that's fine and all when you listen to conservative radio, but you guys have really allowed the opposition to speak their opinion. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that Liz is I think she's more ill-informed. She sounds very educated. I'm not disparaging her, but I think she's ill-informed because when the argument comes in that you're don't recall, or I can't imagine them saying those things, or him saying those things, then you lose the argument, So that those kind of talking points, I can't imagine, or I don't recall him saying that is when you've lost.
Yeah, right, because you don't have
Appreciate
anything.
The call, Marty.
Anything to push back on. Well, I don't know if he said that or not. Well, we know he did, and specifically, he called it out when he did the weird. Remember the speech in Philadelphia with the Marines in the back,
yes, when the MAGA Republicans were the greatest existential threat to the democracy, and he actually held a primetime speech in Philadelphia with the Marines behind him, backlit in red.
Weird, ominous red thing. I've never seen a president do anything like that in my life.
I mean, I was still told, and this was in September of 2021. No, actually, think about it, 2020. I was told that if I didn't 2021, if I didn't comply, you were going to have the president sick OSHA on me to take my job away if I didn't take the experimental government shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I sat there as I'm driving, and I, much like Liz, I was in the 20-mile-an-hour traffic heading to a radio show in South Atlanta as I was getting ready to do our Sunday night or Monday night show. And as I'm driving there and listening to the president talk about their enforcement and how, it's going to be a winter of death for those of you that don't comply. I mean, I was told from Jimmy Kimmel that, well, if you've had your shot, come on into the hospital. If you don't, sorry, Wheezy.
Yeah.
Like,
we're told if you take the shot, you won't get it. That wasn't true. If you take the shot, it won't pass it on. That wasn't true.
But these are things that we all remember, and we all write it down, and you just go, okay, like I'll file that one away. And so I don't recall, whenever we've had somebody with a different set of political views that have joined the show and they make reference to something, I've got a computer box right in front of me. I'm able to go cross-reference it pretty quickly. And I will tell you, just as I said even last week, the whole Donald Trump has said that the election in Virginia was stolen
1,000 times.
Well, that wasn't that one.
Oh, it was a different one?
That was a different one. But it wasn't until, I think it was like 24, 48 hours later when he held a meeting in the Oval Office, I go, now he said it.
Yeah, right.
Never said it before.
Yeah.
But I think oftentimes, if you're emotional about politics, you will fill in the gaps in your mind with what you think somebody said or did.
And it's so easy to do.
Yes.
I see it with my Aunt Peg all the time. It's so easy to get bound up in the emotion and not look at the raw data as it's presented, when it's presented, and pulling logical conclusions from it. The only critique I'll give Liz, because I like Liz. I hope she calls back. I hope she listens all the time. At the end, when things weren't going as well as maybe she thought they were going to, well, your president's my president. He is the president, first of all. second. And just like when Biden was president, he was my president.
He was the
I didn't
president.
support him. I didn't like him. I didn't agree with him, but he was the president.
The cracks start to show.
And then it was, well, your president's a racist and your president is a pedophile.
Like, well, I knew where this was going.
And then there's nothing.
Which isn't
That's the only critique I have of Liz whatsoever.
Which, by the way, because we talk about mainstream talking points in the Democrat Party, and what I am trying... Listen, I'm like Spartacus here, okay? I'm applying this to my Democrat friends, to my liberal friends, as much as I'm applying it to the rest of this audience. I'm telling you, I'm trying to bring you kicking and screaming to prominence. Even though you don't want it. I'm trying to take you there. Here I am. Here's Spartacus. Come follow me. I have told you that things have gotten so far away from the traditional liberal, from the Bill Maher's of the world, even from the Ragin' Cajun of the world.
Which has lost his mind.
They have gotten so far away from what is mainstream as far as... Listen, we got a big area in the middle. The Democrats have drifted so far away from that. I mean, what is my extreme? Leave me alone, and I'm leaving you alone?
That's the point of view I like. that's the one I want.
That's my point of view. Here, I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. Kumbaya, we're all doing good. Yours is, we're going to dictate everything about your life. And the traditional liberal is noticing this, such as Bill Maher.
And he was talking to comedian David Cross, who
I love David Cross.
Who we both think is so funny. Both enjoy his comedy. I even had him on a podcast that I did a while back, and he was hysterical then, too. We never got into politics, which was great, but he and Bill Maher did, and that was the purpose. But I want you to listen to what David Cross says about where he is politically. But then, if we have the whole cut, I think we do, you can hear the same things that Liz said in the David Cross interview, and the things where he said, well, I don't know about that. I've not heard about that. Listen to this.
I mean, I'm politically more Democrat socialist. I believe.
She's socialist. Again, I think you're plainly then you're to the left of me if you even say you're a socialist.
Well, I said democratic socialist.
I know, but I know what democratic socialist is. That's Mandami, who's a straight up communist.
No, he's not.
Okay,
no, he's not.
Okay, he has someone working.
Bill.
All right. He is, first of all.
Okay.
He has someone working for him named Sia Weaver.
Okay.
Have you read about her?
I have not.
See, that means you're in a bubble.
Okay.
Because you should have.
Okay.
Okay,
so
let me tell you who she is. She's
edify
like,
me.
She's like one of his top lieutenants. His big issue was the rent's too high.
Mm-hmm.
She's the head of, we're going to fix housing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what got him elected. He has not disavowed her, and I could show you all her tweets that she's put out over the last few years in quotes. And one of them is, elect more communists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to read between the lines if somebody he stands with and by is saying, and also her other quotes are like, all home ownership is racist.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, I have an issue with that thing that she said. I don't know this woman. I will definitely look her up.
See,
I'm a
going
fan
back to
of
the exact same thing we were talking about with Liz when we presented the point. She was like, well, I don't know about that. I can't recall that. I don't know that. Exactly the same way. David Cross is a political guy. He's always tweeting, talking about politics. And what's the first thing when Bill Maher, a liberal, a man who says, I am a liberal, he brings up points, and David Cross has no idea. Go look it up. If you have to, go look it up. And then he started out by saying, well, I'm politically left. I'm a Democrat socialist. And the liberal in the room says, whoa, whoa, whoa. You mean communist? Because that's exactly what Mamdani is.
Sia Weaver has been putting it out on social media since 2017 about elect more communists. This is a person who talked about seizing private property and that property is a collective good. There is nowhere in the world, in politics, where that isn't communism. You're seizing private property. Private property is considered a danger in communism. That those who have private property, now they have skin in the game. So they won't go along with what you're doing. And they've got to seize it.
And Liz had the question, how do we make the connection between the Democrat Party and communism? So we're laying it out, I feel like, pretty well.
Democrat socialism is only one thing, and Bill Maher brought it up as well.
As the liberal, he brought it up. But then add to when Obama went and sang with Mamdani at the school. Do you think that was about singing to little kids? Or do you think that was about Obama embracing, putting his arm around Mamdani and saying,
this is the way. This is what we've endorsed. I endorse.
Considering what I believe is going to happen in New York, and this goes back to their $30 million grocery store and some of the city services that are going on, that was about showing you, look, this is the way. What I'm telling my liberal friends is this is not the way. All right, go follow Fetterman.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it's funny you bring him up.
Oh.
David on the line, 404-741-1230, has a point about. It's just a message. He's not okay. David says the Dems have gone so far left. Fetterman is a moderate Democrat, and they're going to run him out of the party, which is sad.
They'll primary him.
They will, absolutely.
He will be primaried out of existence because he doesn't toe the company line.
He praises Donald Trump on Israel and the support of Israel.
And the actions in Iran.
That's exactly right. And just being supportive of Israel as a nation. They despise him for that. I don't understand it. And look, I don't think that me and Fetterman probably see eye to eye on a lot. Maybe 50-50. Maybe. If we're lucky.
Maybe.
Yet I'm willing and able to say, he's saying the right thing. We should be supporting Israel. They're our greatest ally in the Middle East. We should be doing those things. And I agree with John Fetterman. And I have no qualms about saying he's right on this. And when he's wrong, or I feel like he's wrong, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't agree with Fetterman on that one. I'm not going to say, I wish he were dead.
See, there is a problem that is there with the leftists, but it's also there with the woke right.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
There is
100%.
There's this run of anti-Israel, the typical thing that happens all the time in history. When you have a problem or things don't go well, you blame the Jews.
It's as long as time has been kept.
That's how you end up with pogroms. If you don't know what a pogrom is, look it up, take a listen, check it out. That is what happens across the world. And for some reason, that has continued to now fester predominantly on the left because Fetterman makes them all mad with that. And it's showing up on the woke right, the Candace Owens of the world, where everything is the fault of Israel. It has to be. Same thing with Tucker Carlson.
I want to go back to something that we were talking about with David Cross and Bill Maher, because it goes along with everything that's happening here, everything that's going on here. And it is David Cross talking about Trump doing something right or not doing something right. Listen.
He just said something. It was almost like a Freudian slip. Not Freudian slip, but I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. It's like the Trump administration are not people who care about saying the quiet part out loud.
Right.
In fact, it's their superpower in some ways. It's like that's what makes MAGA fans go, finally, somebody said it, somebody's got the balls.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not wrong. And so, I mean,
what has Trump been right on?
Well, I think he was right to attack Iran.
Oh, I highly disagree.
Yeah, I know. I figured
what do
you
you mean?
would.
Why?
Because I do think of you as like sort of that like down the line liberal, like down the line.
I mean, in some ways, I'm definitely. I'm politically more Democrat socialist, I believe.
And then it goes back into where they were talking earlier, but he couldn't say anything good. It's just out of the realm of possibility. There's never a time where he can say, yeah, he's maybe right on that one. They won't allow it, dude. It just doesn't happen.
We actually have a scenario where somebody, and now he'll be ostracized too. He'll never be allowed to be part of any of this stuff. You actually have Mark Cuban, who's talking about prescription drugs and what Trump RX is doing to reduce those prices because of Cuban's involvement in the prescription drug industry and being able to get people cheaper drugs to them more easily. And he's the one who, by the way, him and Donald Trump, they don't like each other. All right, that goes back to their TV days on NBC. And yet he's praising him for what is going on. Sorry, you then lose your liberal card at that point. Indeed, not even liberal, you're way out there left guard.
When we come back on Extra 106.3, got a couple guests. We'll talk to Congressman Barry Loudermilk, and then we'll be joined by Derek Dooley. A big last half hour of the show here on Extra 106.3.
Live Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
The best time to shop for a new car is when selection is strong and the offer is clear. Right now at Marietta Toyota, the new 2026 Toyota Camry is all hybrid and in stock. It's built for commuters with exceptional fuel efficiency, up to 53 miles per gallon in the city. Voted Best of Cop, Best New Car Dealership, and Best Dealership Service Center. Here's the difference you don't get everywhere. Every new Toyota comes with our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty, unlimited time, and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. For well-qualified buyers, special APR financing is available on the new 2026 Camry, 4.99% APR for 72 months. We're right where we've always been, Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota since 1975. We've been here and we'll be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers will qualify. Offer ends May 4th, 2026. Lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for details.
I'm Patrick Brown, former Army Ranger in the United States Army. Like many service members, I had to make difficult choices when leaving the military, and the most challenging thing was finding purpose in a new phase of life. Housing, employment, education, way too many decisions and no idea where to start. That was until I met the Warrior Alliance. They made it simple. They listened and quickly connected me to the services I needed. And like a trusted friend, they even followed up to make sure I was squared away. Change a veteran's life today by donating at thewarrioralliance.org. Helping warriors navigate to success after service.
A simple act of generosity changed everything. A journey from alone and abandoned to one of the most successful businessmen in Georgia history. Here's Rick Jackson.
I spent Christmas Eve alone in a children's home. When I woke up, a Good Samaritan had left me $100.
Rick Jackson knows what it's like to go without. That's why he'll fight career politicians who talk about cutting income taxes and property taxes, but never deliver.
Unlike career politicians, I know how some extra money can change everything. That's why I'll freeze your property taxes and slash the income tax in half.
Conservative businessman Rick Jackson will deliver the Georgia results that failed career politicians never will.
I'll get you a boatload of your money back, or I won't run again. It's as simple as that.
The conservative outsider who will deliver real tax relief. Rick Jackson for governor. Paid for by Jackson for Governor, Inc.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal, book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, April 28th, and here are your headlines. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is defending a controversial joke about Donald Trump and Melania Trump, saying it was about their age difference and not a call to violence. Backlash comes after the joke resurfaced following the shootings here at the White House Correspondents' Center. Trumps are calling for his firing, but Kimmel says he regrets the timing, but stands by the joke. Georgia is now under a level 1 drought response as nearly 98% of the state faces severe conditions. Officials say water systems must promote conservation, though no major restrictions are in place yet. With rainfall deficits growing, some local governments are starting to limit outdoor watering. And finally, wildlife officials say snakes are becoming more active across metro Atlanta as temperatures begin to rise. Most are harmless, but residents are urged to avoid them and keep yards maintained to reduce encounters. Experts say copperheads are the most common venomous species. Any bites should be treated immediately. Today's weather is partly cloudy with early showers and a high of 72 and a low of 62. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Going to speak with Congressman Barry Loudermilk. Going to talk about him retiring as a congressman, who he might endorse, and then something about the January 6th subcommittee that he is heading up. And Barry, matter of fact, he's on now. Congressman Loudermilk, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Morning Extra. How are you, sir?
Good. It's good to be with you again.
Yes, sir. We're so glad that you took the time. I want to get into the subcommittee for January 6th. I know you've been working so hard on that, and I know that is a big priority for you. What is it now? Where are you now? And what have you uncovered that we don't know that we should?
Well, we're still working diligently every day. There's more challenges, but there's also more results when you have a new administration, especially one that is cooperative. And the challenges are there's just so much information that they're making available for us to peruse through to find what is relative to some of the things we've been working on. Now, one of the things that you may or may not know, because the mainstream media has really suppressed it, is a couple of months ago, I sent a criminal referral over to the Department of Justice on Cassidy Hutchinson. If you remember, she is the young lady who worked in the White House who switched her testimony after testifying, I believe it was 3 times, to the Select Committee on January 6th, that Trump did nothing wrong. All of a sudden, she switched her testimony and came up with all kind of strange ideas.
Like trying to grab the steering wheel, is that what you mean?
Exactly. Getting mad and throwing a cheeseburger against the wall, joining in with chants of hang Mike Pence. I mean, things that just to a normal person would not make sense. But the Select Committee, they bought it hook, line, and sinker. I'm also I'm suspicious that they may have had some role in helping her construct some of these stories. I don't have evidence to that, but that's one of the things we're working on. But we, a few months ago, sent over a criminal referral because she committed perjury. I mean, she either lied in her first 3 testimonies or she lied in her last several. And but we also found several other things that were not truthful, she said, and probably one of the most indicting and did not make press much at all was she claimed to have handwritten a note to President Trump, and this was a note that was to ask him to do a video or something telling people to stop rioting. And so she claimed to have handwritten this note. She handed it to the president, and he edited it and then did nothing with it. And so what she was claiming by that is she's the one who was trying to stop the violence, and she was going to the president directly. But the problem is the handwriting doesn't match hers. It matches almost, perfectly. We hired a handwriting analyst to analyze this, that it belonged to Eric Hirschman, who is the White House counsel. And from the very beginning, he's the one who said, no, I wrote that note. She did not write it. I wrote it, and I handed it to the president. But she doubled down that it was her handwriting. And I think a 9-year-old could look at this handwriting and tell it is not a female's handwriting. And we got handwriting samples from both sides, gave it to handwriting analysis, and they said 99.9% this belongs to Eric Hirschman. But the strange thing about this is the Select Committee on January 6th had this information on both sides. Eric Hirschman provided them with his handwriting samples. And they took testimonies from both, and they said, well, both are claiming that they wrote this note, but from looking at the handwriting, we believe it was Cassidy Hutchinson. Nobody would believe this was Cassidy. So this just... The reason this is so important, it shows how far she would go to perpetuate a false narrative and how far the Select Committee would go to accept any narrative that condemned Donald Trump. And so we've sent, that's part of a multi-page referral. Of course, Congress, we do not have the ability to hold accountable. The enforcement all comes from the executive branch, and we sent that referral over to the Department of Justice. We did receive a call from them when Pam Bondi was Attorney General still, and it looked like they were starting to work on it. But now that we have an interim acting Attorney General, he is taking this on, and I think they're going to be moving on it pretty quickly.
Congressman Barry Loudermilk is our guest on the Morning Extra. We had the story last week about the Southern Poverty Law Center and what the grand jury found, that largely it was about constructing a story that would be detrimental to the administration. The more you get into all this information about January 6th, how much of it feels like putting together a story?
Oh, it definitely is. When you look at the final report from the Select Committee on January 6th, so much of that is built upon testimonies from specific people. And they archived those. They kept those. When I took control of the first investigative committee 3.5 years ago, we received the documents, supposed to be all the documents from the Select Committee on January 6th. The only documents that we really received were those that were supporting their narrative. We found out there were a lot of documents missing. And as we started finding a lot of those documents, there's still, we've just scratched the surface on documents that are missing. But the ones that we found were all totally opposite of their narrative. So basically what they did is they selected any testimony that would support the predetermined narrative that the riots on January 6th, the violence on January 6th was all Trump orchestrated it. Trump was behind it. He knew it was coming, which none of that is true. And you can even go back to the National Guard, where Nancy Pelosi kept saying if Trump could have sent the National Guard, he could have sent it at any time. He didn't even ask. He withheld them. That is all false. Trump ordered the National Guard to be ready to deploy 3 days before January 6th. He delegated that authority to the Department of Defense. But the real fact is, under the Constitution, he cannot deploy the National Guard unless it is requested by the legislative branch. And that is where I think Pelosi has a lot of liability is we know that there were multiple requests by the chief of police for the National Guard that were all turned down before the Capitol was breached.
Congressman Loudermilk, thank you so much. Final thought here. What happens? Are we actually going to see people be held to account? Because that, at the end of the day, that's what the American people want to see, and I don't think we see much of that at all.
Well, we hadn't, and I think that was part of the frustration of the president is he expected a lot of more further investigation by the Department of Justice. I believe we're heading in that direction. A lot of this is going to be determined by timing and available time to do these things. And this is what's so important with these midterm elections is that we have to control the House. Otherwise, the administration is going to be distracted by doing nothing but defending against impeachments if the Democrats take control of the House. And so there's basically the rest of this year that the administration has to work on getting more information and building a case against those that have clearly violated the law. But if that goes on into the next year, it's so important that we still control the House because the radical leftists, they don't care about truth. They don't care about getting rid of government conspiracy. They're fine with corruption in government as long as it's their corruption.
Yes, sir. No doubt about that. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time with us today, and I hope you'll come back and share with us more when you have time up in D.C. Thank you.
All right. Well, I sure appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a great day. Morning Extra at Xtra 106.3 from one heavy hitter who wants to talk to you, just like Congressman Loudermilk, to another that wants to be the next senator from the state of Georgia. Derek Dooley joins us in studio here on the Morning Extra. How are you, sir?
Doing great. I appreciate you guys having me. Just finished our first debate.
Sunday night.
First political debate and feeling good about it. And now I'm back on the campaign trail spreading the message around.
I tell you, those debates, I feel like they uncover so much. And it's funny because I'd ask you if you'd gone to Athens to see the big concert. And you're like, no way, man. I had to prep for the debate.
I'm busy.
That's right. I had things I had to do, which I love because most people will be like, yes, I'm going to the concert. Absolutely. But you were focused. What do you feel like you took away from the debate?
Well, I think the debate revealed really what this race was all about. I mean, you have two sitting congressmen yelling and screaming at each other, doing the same things they do up in Washington, not delivering results. And you had a political outsider that's trying to clean up the mess and show a different kind of leadership and get up there and put their focus on delivering results for the people. And so I just think that became loud and clear when you're looking at the candidates, and I hope the voters understand that. And, early voting started yesterday, and we got 3 weeks here until May 19th, and we feel good about where we are and feel like we're the best candidate to beat John Ossoff.
Dare Dooley is our guest right here on the Morning Extra. So much of the potential candidate down the road that you would run into in Jon Ossoff is backed by so much money that we're seeing coming from out of state. How much do you hear about that on the campaign trail, that his influences don't seem to be Georgians so much as it seems to be liberals from across the country?
Well, one thing I've learned driving around this state for 9 months is beating Jon Ossoff is not going to be easy. And a lot of it is because he lays low. People don't know much about him, and I think it's strategic. And that's why it's so critical we get the right candidate in this primary. And that candidate really has to do two things. Number one is he's got to be able to stay on offense. You got to think about what Ossoff's strategy is. He's going to take all that money you're talking about, and he's hoping one of these two congressmen are the nominee. That way he can deploy all that money to go on attack on their long voting record or social media divisive posts they've had that's going to be turned off to a lot of voters, or the House ethics charge that's against Mike. And to do that will always keep them on defense and distract what the real message is, that Jon Ossoff doesn't represent Georgia. But that alone isn't going to win the election. The second piece is more important, that the candidate has got to not only be able to energize and mobilize the Trump Republican voters, but if you're going to win a statewide race, you've got to have a candidate who can energize not only those voters, but also find some common ground, have a leadership style that appeals with voters that don't always vote Republican, they don't always vote in the midterm. It's something Governor Kemp did so well in 2022. It's why he's so popular. And listen, as a coach, I've done it for 30 years. Sitting in living rooms and kitchens, talking with people that don't always look like you or think like you, and you're asking them to trust you. And so I just feel like that if we want to get this seat back, this is one of the most important primaries that we usually had. And so many voters out there, there's a lot out there that don't vote in the primaries. I mean, you look at the turnout, millions of people don't show up for primaries. They go, I'll just wait till the general, which, okay, that's fine when you have candidates who are very similar. But when you have a real distinct difference between the candidates running, it's so important we get the right one, and this is one of those elections.
Georgia senatorial candidate Derek Dooley on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. I think that's valuable because we had a lady called in this morning. We have a lot of people that don't agree with our point of view that listen to the show and call in and make observations and make arguments. But when you talk about people that wouldn't normally vote Republican, that seems to be the most fertile ground ever because the Democrat Party has moved so far to the left. We documented it all morning this morning. There's a lot of those people out there. How are you talking to them specifically?
Well, let me highlight what you're talking about because people don't realize this. What moves elections in this state? In 2022, when Governor Kemp was on the reelect and he annihilated Stacey Abrams, thank goodness for our state, on the same ballot, if you guys remember, was U.S. Senate race, Herschel Walker, Republican, Raphael Warnock. And in that election, 300,000 voters, 300,000, voted for conservative, pro-business Brian Kemp and Raphael Warnock. Now, Herschel lost that election by 41,000 votes. And so that's a critical piece of it. And independent-minded voters move the elections here. And it's why the Republican Party has not won a Senate race in 10 years because candidates matter. And, when you talk about what am I doing, I'm representing a different style of leadership. Somebody who has spent a 30-year career where it wasn't about me. It was about people, and it was about people from all walks of life. It doesn't matter if you're white, suburban mom, the black community, Hispanic, Indian, Asian, Jewish. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves to be listened to, and that's what you do as a coach. You listen to them all. We all have a lot of differing opinions, but we're going to come together and find some common ground to move this country forward.
Derek Dooley is our guest on the Morning Extra. He is running for Senate right here in the state of Georgia. Let me talk about the campaign trail because as you said, you've been all over this state for 9 months, not just Atlanta, but obviously into South Georgia and North Georgia. What are some of the issues that people are bringing up when you get out in front of them, when you get in those town halls and you get part of those smaller groups and they feel comfortable sharing some of their issues with you?
Yeah, I got to, of course, everybody sort of has their one or two issues that matter to them the most. If you look from a policy standpoint, of course, cost of living is on everybody's mind. But of all the issues that is common, as I've been out 9 months, it's really the disappointment in Congress. we've seen all this careerism. 74 members have been up there over 20 years, corruption, but mostly the inaction, where we're yelling and screaming, we're drifting from crisis to crisis and not working together. And you know what? As I went around and talked about my disappointment in the leadership, I started getting questions. And the first one I got was, hey, Coach, how do we know you ain't going to go up there and turn into the rest of them?
Okay, I just wrote that down.
All right, see there,
I just wrote that down.
That's right. And when I first got it, of course, I gave an answer, and then I kept getting it, and I kept getting it. And I'm like, wow. The first thing that hit me was these people have been delivered a lot of false promises, okay? But then I really got to thinking, how can I convince everyone that I gave up a 30-year career that I loved? I could have kept coaching. And this is really from my heart. And the only thing I knew to do was just to start writing. I guess it's my lawyer background, going to law school, practicing law. And so that's why I put together this contract. It's a one-page contract. And really what it is a pledge to the people of Georgia. And it's got 5 simple things. One is, of course, Georgia first, where my loyalty is. It's always going to be to the people. The second thing is that if I'm elected, I'm only going to serve 2 terms, and I'm going to fight like hell for term limits. I think it's the most important thing we can do for our country. The third is that I'm not going to trade stocks or crypto when I'm in office, and I'm going to fight to ban that stuff. It's shameful. It erodes trust. The fourth thing is I'm never going to take a check if the government shuts down, and it's about time we change the rules when Congress doesn't do its job. We got to start ending their pay. We got to start ending their privileges. And the last thing is I'm always going to stay accountable to the people. I've already committed to 10 town halls where I got to come answer to voters, answer to people who didn't vote for me, because too many people go up there, they like how the wine tastes, and they lose touch with reality back home. And so that's sort of my pledge. And listen, as I've gone around the state, we're going county by county, voter by voter. And when I pull that contract out, I've been signing it, personalizing it, taking pictures, and I tell them, you hold me accountable if I don't get it done.
Dare Dooley is our guest right here on the Morning Extra, and I want to follow up right on that because you're running for Senate right here out of the state of Georgia. I think it's a very popular message these days to try and make sure that you come across as the outsider. I think your important angle about this, you didn't make your money or celebrity in politics. And I think that's what's attractive right now, that we're trying to identify who are the real outsiders. And when your message is, I don't need this to be successful, I think that's the best idea of the citizen servant.
And that's what this country was founded on. It wasn't built to have politicians start when they're 25 years old and have a 50-year career up in D.C. That's not what it is. We need to get out there, go to work. I've had a long career, learn a lot. You learn to work with other people. You learn leadership. You learn teamwork. You learn overcoming adversity. You have a lot of failures that you learn from. And then you have something that you're passionate about and you want to go serve this country. And you go up there. And that's what it's built on. And that's why I'm so committed to term limits. I just think it's so important. It'll change the kind of people that go up there, but more importantly, when they go up there, they have a greater freedom to do what's right for the country, not what's going to get them elected in the next election.
Derek Dooley, our guest, running for Senate here in the state of Georgia, took place in the debate on Sunday night against the other candidates that are running as well. When you get up there, and I understand the contract, I love it. I think most people hear those things and they're like, yeah, absolutely. What is the likelihood that you can change anything? Because people call in all the time and they're like, okay, if you say I'm not going to trade stocks, I'm not going to trade crypto, they see people in D.C. doing that. They shift it off to their husband or boyfriend or whatever. There's somebody in the family that's... How do you change the culture of D.C. with those great ideas that I love and I support? How do you actually get it implemented? You're one of, there's going to be 50.
That's right.
Or 100.
It's a great question, and I'm going to answer it a lot of ways. The first way is that it's easy to be cynical, all of us, and throw our hands up and say, well, that's D.C., and you can never change it. And I'm just not that personality. I don't believe that. I believe I'm an optimist. I believe our country's always hit these dips, and what pulls us out of it? The right kind of leadership. That's number one. The second thing is I believe in the old-fashioned way. I mean, I believe going up there, meeting people, developing relationships, people finding where we disagree, where we agree. That's number two. But the third thing is, if you're passionate enough and you come from a world that's outcome-oriented, results-oriented, which there is no profession more results-oriented than coaching, you keep fighting and figuring out, how can I get this across the finish line? Let me give you an example. Term limits. There's a lot of people up there that say they're for term limits. Nobody's fighting for it, and nobody's really doing anything to push the message. So I think about that, and I say, well, you know, these people, they don't want to vote themselves out of office. They're going to keep it from being on the floor, so what can we do? Well, maybe there's a compromise. Maybe there's a way we say, hey, what if we exempt every member of Congress who's active right now from term limits? But let's vote it for the good of the country. So then when you get out, the next person that comes in, it's subject to, and then it's a lot less chaotic on the change. Our country moves forward. And then 20, 25 years from now, everybody's under term limits. You know, I think we could do things like that, find creative ways to get it across the finish line, more importantly, to get it out in public, because I believe these issues are 80-20 issues. 80-20. And listen, speaking of 80-20 issues, we have a number of them right now, and Congress isn't getting it done. I mean, we have control of the House and the Senate, and we got issues that 85% of the country want. We can't get it done. And look, where I come from, you can't just sit there and blame the other side. When are we going to look in the mirror and say, what do we need to do differently to get it done? Well, you know what? We need to start getting some different people up there, because that's all they do. They want to push and blame the other side for everything, take no responsibility for not getting it done, and then get reelected. That's not where I came from.
You talk about an 80-20 issue, and Derek Dooley, running for the Senate right out of here in the state of Georgia, is our guest on the Morning Extra. We've seen all the polling. 80-85% of people believe you should have a photo ID to vote in this country. Yet, you will not have Republican leadership that will take up that vote in the Senate. When we talk about those numbers, that, again, 80-20 issues, this is automatic across the board. I think even Democrats look at it as citizenship should be valuable. How frustrating, or at least can you see how it's frustrating for the general voter who says, hey, I helped vote these people into the Senate. I helped give the power to the Republicans in Congress, and yet they won't even vote.
Yeah, I think it's very disappointing, and it's why, listen, that's why we have elections, and that's why we need to get some new leadership who can push these policies forward. You know, everybody talks about President Trump, you know, all these executive orders, all these things he's pushing. Hey, I don't blame him. We got a Congress that doesn't do anything. And so if something's going to get done, he's got to do it. And so we can't live as a country on executive orders, because we all know what happens, right? Biden peeled back everything Trump did. Trump comes in, we peel back. And every 4 years, everything's changing in our country. Congress's job is to work together to make long-term solutions for our people, and they are not getting it done. That's why we need new leadership up there.
Derek Dooley, our guest on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. Los and I say this all the time, Coach Dooley. The Republicans are just as guilty. They're of not getting things done, the things that they were elected to go there to do. They sit on their hands. Los brought up the SAVE Act. That's just one of so many that, like you said, Trump's had to use executive orders on.
And by the way, then we need more outsiders, because they're the ones who keep pushing for this stuff to happen. It's just you do have leadership that is just not interested in it at times.
How do you push back on your own party? How do you say, y'all ain't doing the right thing? We know the Democrats ain't doing the right thing, but I don't think some of our listeners understand the fact that the Republicans aren't doing the right thing many times.
I just think it takes leadership. It's courage to stand up and say what's right, and say what's on your mind, and say the truth. And we're getting less and less of that. You know why? Because people are worried about getting voted out of office. It always goes back to, why are you there? Why are you up in D.C.? And if you're up there only to get reelected, you're going to say things that are not truthful. You're going to compromise what you believe. But if you're up there for the good of the country and the good of the people and to move the ball forward for our country, you're going to say what's right and what's on your mind and what's in your heart. And I haven't flinched on that for 9 months. And so I just believe, and the more people who become leaders like that, the more it gives permission for other people to talk like that. But right now, they're all scared to death, running around, worried about getting primaried. And that's just not healthy for our system.
Coach Derek Dooley is our guest. He's running for the Senate out of the state of Georgia right here on the Morning Extra. During this whole process, what has been surprising to you? What I mean, as a coach, you train for everything. You get ready for any sort of situation. Has there been anything on the trail as part of this process where you went, okay, I might have been told about that, but it's still surprising how that worked out?
You know, I did a lot of diligence going into this thing, and so the day-to-day nothing really has surprised me from that. But I think probably the biggest eye-opener, and in some ways it's disappointing, is the importance of money in an election. And, you know, I've been out, I think I've put about 40 to 45,000 miles on my truck since August, meeting people, doing events, just doing it the old-fashioned way. You know, I have a great mentor, Governor Brian Kemp, who has endorsed me, by the way, and it's the only election he's weighed in on. But he's the ultimate retail politician. I've learned a lot from him. But I don't care. In 1 year, it's impossible to go shake hands with 1 million voters or 1.5 million people. I mean, the numbers don't add up. And so you have to get your message out on media and TV, and it costs a tremendous amount of money. And, you know, we've seen. And then what makes it even harder is when you got two guys in the governor's race buying up all the time and jacking the rates up, it's just hard to break through the media noise. And so, but we're doing our best. We released a commercial not long ago, but we're still doing it the old-fashioned way, man, and I believe in it. It's county by county. It's voter by voter. In fact, later this week, we're going back to southwest Georgia. We're hitting about 13 counties there. We're going to come back and hit northeast. We've been northwest. We've been southeast, been metro Atlanta, and so I just, you know, I have a lot of confidence that every time I get in front of people, people are excited. They believe in me. They're spreading the word. I just hope it's enough.
It's, you know, we're encouraged by your enthusiasm, and we want to see things like that you're talking about happening. But I hear people that call into this show, we've had them on, that say Jon Ossoff's going to win because they don't know anything about him. And it's kind of where you started a little bit earlier. They're like, he gets out and shakes hands, he kisses babies, and that's what people have a snapshot of. People that are conservative to the bone that call in and say, we're not going to win this race. We are not going to win it. He was like, we had a person call in and said, Jon Ossoff even helped me get a tour of D.C. You know, I couldn't get my guy to do it. I went to him and he did it. It's little stuff like that that adds up, and that's the straw, in my opinion, that breaks the camel's back. I thought they were crazy. I was like, no way, nobody's voting for Ossoff. What has he done? And then they all called me out and told me I was wrong because of those little tiny things.
Tug, this is why getting the right candidate is so critical, because you're exactly right. If you're playing defense with Ossoff, he's going to cruise to victory if you're having to defend your long voting record or your House ethics charge. But we have an old saying in coaching, your film is your resume. And we have a film on Jon Ossoff for the last 5 years, 6 years that we did not have back in 2000 on all the things that he's voted for, all the things he supported, many of which we're still dealing with. You know, he voted 98% for Joe Biden. We can't just ignore that. He voted for this 40-year high inflation 3 times. He supported the open borders where we poured millions of people in, created problems that we're still dealing with now. He supported all the woke stuff we pushed on our kids, the men and women's sports stuff. There is a laundry list of things that we've got to educate the Georgia people. And look, I hear things, okay, great, he might have helped you on a passport. We're going to do that too. Or he might have helped you, you know, with a ticket here. We're going to do that too. But the big picture items are what matter most for our country, and he doesn't represent the values of the bulk of the Georgia people. But we've got to have a candidate who can stay on offense every day, and we will win the election.
Derek Dooley is our guest right here on the Morning Extra, running for the Senate at the state of Georgia, and I think that's the key. How do you tie Ossoff's voting record to the rest of Georgia to show how out of step he is with the rest of Georgia? And just as you pointed out, as much as this primary is about let's get through this and then we'll look into the fall, then in the fall, it's about the message and it's about the money. And I think that has to be the plan of attack, because once you start going through that record, you're going to have a lot of Georgians go, I didn't know he was involved in that. I didn't know he supports that.
You're exactly right. I've actually been amazed at how few people know much about him going around the state. He's not threatening, just like you said. He says one thing in Georgia, does another in D.C., all right, and it's unbelievable to me. But if you think about it, you never see him grandstanding on CNN. You don't see him standing next to Chuck Schumer holding the banner for the party, and it's strategic because deep down, he knows that what he supports, what he represents, is not reflective of the values of the bulk of the Georgia people.
We appreciate you taking the time to come. This is the fastest 25 minutes in the history of the world.
I'm coming back.
I hope so.
All right, and hey, you two guys better get your butt to the voting and vote
Absolutely.
for Dooley.
We've already got it all lined out.
DooleyforGeorgia.com. Join the team. We need everybody to spread the word. We got to show up.
Absolutely right. Derek Dooley running for Senate here in the state of Georgia. It's guys like him that come here that want to talk to you directly. They don't come talk to me and Los. We just have the platform. We're blessed to have the platform here at Dickey Broadcasting. He's coming to talk to you. You make the difference. You make the decision on what happens in the state of Georgia and across America. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for supporting Extra 106.3 in the Morning Extra. For Coach Dooley and Los and Bryce, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, April 28th. The Atlanta Braves close out the homestand with a 3-game series beginning tonight with the Detroit Tigers in town. The Braves start the day tied for the best record in all of baseball. It'll be Martin Perez on the mound against Casey Mize. First pitch is set for 7:15. You can hear all of the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and free on the Fan app. From the NBA, Game 5 of the series between the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks gets underway from New York City at 8 o'clock tonight. That series currently tied at 2 games apiece. No matter the outcome, Game 6 will be back in Atlanta on Thursday night. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second